This is your first day. Your designation will be RP-01/138. We expect great things from you. You have been born into dangerous times. A sharp mind can be the key to survival. But as often as not, it will be your inherent physical traits that win the day. And in this regard, you will be superior to your more common brethren. For you are a commando, an elite unit, something truly special. Your weapons, your armor, and most importantly, your brothers.
All right then, listen up.
Delta Squad, form up.
Forming up, boss.
What up, my fellow Republic Commandos? It is your boy Trey of the Bat Channel. We are live from a galaxy far, far away, talking about all the craziness that was going on this last weekend in London with the Star Wars celebration. My goodness, was there a ton of announcements and some that were unexpected, whether good or bad? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about all the cool things coming up with Star Wars. But guys, as always, I have to bring in the best co-host I could ever ask for. He is a Sith sympathizer. He believes Obi-Wan gave up too easily on his boy Anakin.
Oh, he did.
His name is Super Bro Corey, ladies and gentlemen.
General Kenobi.
General Kenobi.
What's up, buddy?
How's it going, big fella?
Man, are you ready for a damn good show today?
I'm ready for a damn good show.
A damn good show.
Hell yes. Hell yes. My goodness, guys. Out of curiosity in the chat, let us know if you watched anything of Star Wars Celebrations. Were you tuning in on some of those live streams? Let us know. I'm curious to hear from you guys. Corey, how was your weekend? Happy Easter belated Easter for everyone.
Happy Easter, yep.
But hopefully you guys had a good, relaxing weekend. How about you, Super Bro? Corey, what'd you do this weekend?
Oh yeah, man, had a fantastic weekend. Obviously, Super Bat Mom and Dad Pool came on up this weekend and made a really good Easter supper. Did a stuffed leg of lamb, which I've never done before. I was like, hey, why not? Like I went to the store and I was like, yes, I'll have a ham, please. They're like, oh, actually, have you ever had a leg of lamb before? And I was like, I like lamb, but I've never done it by myself before. And he's like, here, try it. And I was like, all right, let's go for it. So it turned out beautiful. Going to be making some gyros with it tonight, which I'm really excited for. But yeah, man, how was your Easter?
It was good. I spent most of it video editing.
Yes, you were mad. I felt kind of bad because you were a madman this weekend, video editing, doing all the hard work. I was relaxing, taking it easy, and enjoying time in preparation for Mom and Dad coming up. So
you're cleaning the house, let's be honest.
Yeah, I did a lot of
that. Hey, you know what? And that's okay, because I know it was a busy weekend for everyone and lots going on, but yeah, we did crank out a lot of videos. You were probably like, what is going on with the Bat channel? He has way too much time on his hands.
He was pumping them out.
A ton of trailer reactions. We have the Ahsoka trailer. If you guys haven't watched that, make sure you check that out after the stream. We have the Indiana Jones 5 trailer. We did a movie review for the new Air film that came out this last weekend and actually did fairly well in the box office, all things considering, especially when you had the powerhouse Super Mario Bros. That killed it over $146 million in the 3-day weekend. I think in total wise, I think it got up to almost 200. Maybe it did. I can't recall, but killed it in the box office. And no surprise there. But the new movie Air, we did a quick 10-minute movie review. I highly recommend that you check that out because no joke, that film is going to win Oscars, and I don't say that lightly. It's going to be nominated for a lot.
You actually made me super excited for it.
Big fella. Already.
Man, we have a lot of people in the house tonight.
Really? Who? Orc and Beans, my man. It's always good to see you. I know you're busy tonight.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat right now. We got hashtag Restore the Snyderverse guy with a hey yo, Bat Fanatic, what up Delta Squad? Trevor H, hey guys. Oracle's Clock Tower, hi everyone. Mr. Wayne, hi everybody. Red Hooded Outlaw, what's up? The Butler joining us late in the evening. Welcome, The Butler. Good evening. Oracle's Clock Tower, she made sure to already tell everybody to hit that like, everyone.
She's taking care of us.
She is taking care of us. Socks says, hello all. Beyond the night. We got Trevor H in the house. This is the way. The Batman, let's go.
Batman, my man. How's it going?
Jack Black and Lizzo for President 2024. I'm not feeling it, Jack.
Clearly, Orc didn't check out our stream after.
Because he said that, I'm rooting for a guy that really likes cereal. And eating cereal at his mom's house.
He did appear at Star Wars Celebration. Your favorite guy, Surreal.
Yeah. Surreal, baby. Beyond the night, let's go. Ryan.
And he actually called out Orc and Beans. He was just like, I know there's people out there who absolutely love my blue cereal, especially when I stared at my mom in a weird way. And, Orc and Beans, good friend. He loves my shit.
Swayze in the house. What up, Brian? And my boy Nino Sevens, what up, Marcus? How we doing? May the force be with you. Stan Havoc is in the house. What's up, everyone in the chat? Sock bulletins.
We might open up
Obi-Wan. We may open up the panel.
We may open up the panel, hear from all of our fellow Star Wars fans, see what their thoughts about the celebration were. We're curious to hear from you guys, without question. Yes.
Yeah. So, I got a lot of people in here. The Nightwing sub chat.
Good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. As always, guys, we'll do our quick little promo stuff, just helping our channel out, because really, we don't grow this channel without you guys. So that's why we take this time to, one, say thank you but two, to kind of reiterate the mission. Our goal, I know I've said it, 2,000 subscribers is our goal right now, but really my goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers.
10K, baby.
Trey, you're like, why 10K? Well, it's 10K because I would like to be able to do charity streams, and YouTube only allows you to get to that when you hit 10,000 subs. So help us out by sharing this video. Get all of your friends in the chat. Use hashtag Star Wars Celebration, hashtag Star Wars for this stream when you're promoting this video. So that way you get all your fellow Star Wars fans, because the more people we have in the chat, the more fun and discussions we have going on. And plus, we want to hear from you guys. There's a lot of announcement, and I feel like with Star Wars, it's such a gray area right now. I feel like not everyone is on board with what's going on, and there's some people who are loving it, and then some people are just like, as long as someone who is there right now, I will not support it. So please share the stream.
We have 2 more shout outs, by the way. Comic Book Craig Movies in the house.
My man, it's been a while.
Happy Easter Monday to you, Comic Book Craig Movies.
My brother.
And Akari Saberwolf. What's up, everyone? May the Force serve you all well. That's what I was wondering too. Akari Saberwolf. Is this your
first time here? Dope name, Akari Saberwolf. I dig it. Good to see you. Let us know if this is your first time here, Akari. We're glad you're here. May the Force serve you as well.
And with you.
Hello there. My goodness. Well, guys, as always, you can follow us also on our social media pages like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram at @the_Bat channel. This is just a great way to get to know us behind the scenes when we're not live streaming. Maybe there's something you want us to talk about. DM us. I'm happy when you guys DM us and tell us all the crazy things maybe that's going on in your life, or just like, hey, Trey, did you hear about this? Or there's a rumor going on about this. Already, some of you have reached out to me about possibly leaked images from Star Wars Celebration that they didn't release, and you're asking me if it's real, if it's not. Well, we'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Kari says, yes, it is actually. Hey, Corey, well, you know what we do when we have someone new? We got to give you a proper welcome.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
It's good to have you here, Akari. Thank you for being here. Out of curiosity, Akari, how did you find our channel? Were you just hanging out on YouTube and looked up Star Wars Celebration, or was it on Twitter or something? It's always nice to know like where people are finding us, and let us know if you can give us a general area where you're from. I know we've been stretching out across the globe. Hopefully, maybe one day the galaxy. I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
But a lot of like the rules.
Hit the road to 2K subscribers, like Trey said. Make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification button. They never miss an episode.
Boom. That's where it's at, folks. That is where it is at. My man, Corey. A lot of craziness for sure at Star Wars Celebration. As we know, guys, Star Wars Celebration, it started Friday, and because obviously it was in London, time frames for me never worked out to like watch it live. I was always watching it on the replay crew, but
interesting. I was watching a little bit live.
Were you watching it a little bit live? I know a lot of it was in the morning. A lot of things were released, and often released while I was at work, so I couldn't like do a reaction like right away. But a lot of craziness going on in the Star Wars realm, but really in Lucasfilms in general. They have a lot to promote. Lying, the Nightwing says, waiting for my shirt. Waiting for what shirt? The Ink to the People for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention shirt? I don't know. Comic Book Craig Movie says, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, not enthusiastic about how the sequels went. Why, oh why are they going to do a Knights of the Old Republic trilogy? Aren't they going to do a Knights of the Old Republic trilogy or series? Because the games are too good and they can't match them. That's my guess. Well, I don't know. We'll talk about that, but it seems like they're open to doing something in the Old Republic. We'll certainly talk about it. Akari says, I was on YouTube just browsing videos on Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Hey, we're actually going to do a trailer reaction to the final gameplay. This is a game that Corey and I both played the first one, and it was dope. Great video game. Looking forward to the second one. Really, the ending of that first game was so insane that Loved it. Absolutely loved Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Like,
man, that just, I still go back and occasionally watch people's reactions playing that game and that last moment when Vader shows up, and oof.
I love the one person who said, "I'm just gonna stay there. I'm gonna see what's Darth Vader does."
Right?
I'm gonna show you it's Darth Vader does. It's just like, bro, really?
Is there a way to kneel? How do I kneel?
Yeah, how do you bow and say, "I will join the dark side"? Or do you have cookies? Well, come.
I think they do have cookies over there.
We do have cookies. We have Reba. That works for if you're Savage Bat. Which I got to give a shout out to Savage Bat. Savage Bat.
Shout out.
You were correct, sir. Your theory about what's going on with the Dave Filoni verse was spot on. We'll talk about it. But shout out to Savage Bat. He nailed it. Absolutely. Let's see. Sock says 19 likes. Let's get those likes up or I'll have to take Trey's socks. Yes, I know where he lives. Good news is I'm not wearing socks at the moment, but I'm still not, feeling confident and comfortable.
Hey, we got Koji in the house.
Koji, what's up, brother? Good to see you, Koji. Koji, out of curiosity, did you watch Star Wars Celebration at all? If so, let me know, and we'll talk. But yes, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was a great game. He says he's beaten it countless times from me starting from scratch. Yeah, I might have to do that before the game comes out later this month. Just to get ready. I need to pre-order it too, so I get all the cool shit with it. But I when they pushed it back, I got depressed a little bit. I was like, man, this better not be like Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, where they just kept pushing that game back nonstop. I think they pushed it back again. It happens. But you know what? Smart play. He says, Koji says, nah, I didn't, but I caught the spoilers. Okay. Guys, if you haven't checked out my boy Koji's YouTube channel, you need to. He's doing some great gaming streams over there, and he just released some merch for his Snyder Cut fighters that are raising money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So
I was online about to buy one, but before I bought one, I was like, hold up, I need to make sure that me and Trey don't get the same color. So I figured you're probably going to get the black one. I'm going to get the red one. Is that accurate?
I mean, I haven't decided yet. I mean, there's.
I know I'm definitely getting the Snyder Cut fighter shirt. Well.
What's that?
He has a purple one too, which is super dope as well.
I'll have to look at it. I haven't seen all. I've seen some of the designs, which are really, really cool, but I'll have to check that out. Akari Saber says, unfortunately, I don't own a PS5, so I won't be able to play Jedi Survivor when it comes out. Bro, I feel you. It's so tough to get a PS5, man. I did get an Xbox Series X this last Christmas, so I will be able to play Jedi Survivor, but I hear you. I feel bad for all the PlayStation fans. They're struggling to get those things cranking. So maybe we'll see. Hopefully, you never know. Something could happen.
Check the back chat too.
Find someone to do a giveaway. What's that, Corey?
Check the back chat real quick too.
Yes, Corey. If you could handle that would be wonderful. Thank you. But yeah, so many things going on at Star Wars Celebration, and obviously because it's really focused on Lucasfilms and all the things they're doing. Obviously, the big presenter was Star Wars Jedi Survivor because they're really trying to promote that game that's coming out soon. Like I said, shortly we'll do a trailer reaction to it. But let's talk about just some of the fluff of Star Wars Celebration. As we know, this year is the 40th anniversary to Star Wars Return of the Jedi. My goodness, it's hard to believe that's 40 years. I mean, I'm not even 30 yet, but it's weird to kind of think of this movie as it's closer to 50 than it is 25 years old. Hey, Star Wars Return of the Jedi, great film. Corey, I know it's April 28th that it's going to play in theaters for one night. Are you going to try to check it out in theaters?
April 28th, I would love to see it. It really depends on if my movie theater is playing it. I live in a small town, so it's going to be one of those things where if it's in, I'm going to go to it.
Right? I mean, if it's not, I wish they were doing it more than just one day. That's the only thing. because it's also, I won't lie to you guys, it's also the day of the Full Circle event.
Mhm.
So depending on when time the showings are, I don't want to conflict with the big event that's going on there, where we're doing this whole big thing with Zack Snyder trying to raise money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And we're getting, I think we passed that $1 million mark, but nonetheless, I don't want to miss SnyderCon. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. Ayo Koji, check your Twitter DMs, by the way.
Let's see. Sock says, I remember seeing The Return of the Jedi in the movie theaters back in 1983. Socks, tell us about that, my man. What was that like? Seeing that in theaters? Because I mean, the first film that I got to see in theaters, which explains my nostalgicnism, and my love for the prequel trilogies, was Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace to me was like, I still remember sitting in the theaters with my friend Rocco. I remember Rocco. And mom and dad had, my brothers were there. I sat in the front row, and they got us these wristbands that you could slap on your hands, and there were different colors of the different Jedis. I think there was a red and a green and a blue one. And I originally wanted the green one, but my brother Jameson, he loves the green color. That's his thing. So he got Qui-Gon Jinn. Corey, being the Sith sympathizer that he is, got the Darth Maul one. So I was left.
You should have let the chat guess which one I got.
Well, yeah, not hard to know when it comes to Super Bro Corey. But I was left with the blue one, which happened to be Padawan, I should say, Jedi Padawan, Obi-Wan Kenobi. So for me, when I got Obi-Wan Kenobi, obviously having that be my first real experience with Star Wars and Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor became my favorite character of all time because he whooped Darth Maul, and he was awesome, So seeing Star Wars for the first time in theaters with Phantom Menace was, it's still a moment I remember as a kid. So I can only imagine what it was like seeing the first Star Wars, or even Return of the Jedi. It's just one of those films that you hear everyone talking about. The first movie I saw that I remember was Star Wars. And that's just shows the power of this community and the legendariness of those original trilogies. And often I kind of have to remind myself with Star Wars, for a lot of people, the older generation, the original trilogy, that's their Star Wars, and the prequel trilogy didn't do it for them. For me, it's the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy, right? But the prequel trilogy, I have a strong love for it. I can only imagine that probably this sequel trilogy is what, the prequel trilogy was for me as it is for them. So while I didn't like the sequel trilogy, to them, that's Star Wars. So I have to kind of remind myself that. Comic Book Craig Movie says, Socks, me too. I saw it in theaters in 83. I was 10. First time we tried to go, we waited in line, and then it was sold out. Oh my gosh. So we had to come back the next weekend. That sucked. Wow. I can't imagine it being 10 years old as well. I'd be like, nope, sold out. Yikes. Wow. That would hurt. Marcus says, I saw Return of the Jedi in theaters when I was a little kid. Wow, man. Marcus, I keep having to remember that you're older than what you look, and that's a compliment, my man. That's a compliment. Ko-J says, Phantom Menace was the first Star Wars I saw in theaters outside of the special editions. Wow. Yeah, man. So Return of the Jedi, they did have a panel with some of the original cast members. No one terribly huge, Mark Hamill didn't appear, but they did get the original actress who played Mon Mothma. I don't think Lando was there at all, but it just some of the cast people that played some of the characters, the aliens. Tim Rose, who played Akbar, was there. Mike Quinn. So they did have people show up. Michael Carter, Sean Crawford, Tim Dry, Femi Taylor, Mike Edmonds. So they had people representing the 40th anniversary of Star Wars Return of the Jedi. So it was good to see. Not much to really go. I mean, they just talked about some stories and stuff like that. There was nothing really to the panel that was like, oh my God, mind blowing or revealing of the filming on that set. Because I mean, George Lucas filmed everything. If you guys watch the special features of Return of the Jedi, you would know pretty much everything. Akari says Darth Maul is my favorite Sith character. Oh, 100%, man. And especially, he was such a cool character in Phantom Menace. But then when you get into like Clone Wars and Rebels, it's like there was such a bigger story with him that it's like he easily has become like one of the biggest and coolest Sith characters of all time in Star Wars. So yeah, man, I hear you there. Marcus says, driving to work, I'll be listening. Have a great stream. Have a great day at work, man. That sucks that you're going this late. Yikes. I lined up to comic book. Lots of hours made that movie better. Yeah, absolutely right. Oh my gosh. Koji says, not just that, but our line was kind of turned into a party. Everyone was getting along and sharing Star Wars love and knowledge. Oh, that's cool, man. I have a similar story to that where when we went to go see Revenge of the Sith, we actually went to go see it on my birthday. So I would have been 11, I think, or 10, one of those. And my parents bought me a Darth Vader mask that Corey convinced me, Corey being the brother that he is, convinced me to take it to the movie theaters. And I'm sure people hated that because it was one of those scenes that had the voice changer and everything. And, we're sitting there in the middle of the theater, and I think it was you, Corey, who pressed the button on the mask, and it did, the Force is strong with you. And everyone like turned around, and I was scared out of my mind because I was embarrassed thinking people were going to kick me out of the theaters. But I think they saw because I was like a little kid and they didn't want to ruin my experience. And clearly I was a birthday boy that day. They were kind of like, oh, that's adorable. He's a Darth Vader mask. Like, Darth Vader, so cool.
Oh man.
That was a fun experience though. Man, I'm glad to hear all this love for Star Wars. That's making me feel good because lately, with things going on with Mandalorian and how people looked at Obi-Wan Kenobi's show, it seemed like people have been down on Star Wars. They keep saying ratings are down, and it's been bumming me out a little bit because I think Star Wars IP is still going strong, and I think there's still some great storytelling to do as long as they do it right. But Corey, let's go ahead and go on to the next one, the Batman. I still have my Darth Vader mask. You never get rid of that thing. Just don't. And if you do, you got to burn it and just like stare into the flames while you do it.
Next slide, huh?
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith came out on my graduation day. Oh, that's cool. Hey, man, that would be a great way to celebrate. Like, thanks, guys, for the diploma. Going to Star Wars now. All right, I would deal with that. All right, obviously, Star Wars Celebration isn't just about Star Wars. It's all about Lucasfilm, and they released a brand new, and it sounds like final trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, or as I said it in my trailer reaction, Dynasty. Oh my gosh, man, I cannot tell you, Indiana Jones. Corey, I'm going to let you take this. I know Corey hasn't seen the trailer yet for it. He's planning on doing a trailer reaction, but Corey's the big Indiana Jones fan. Corey, knowing this is going to be Harrison Ford's last film, what are you feeling? You as being a major Indiana Jones fan.
This is his last film?
Well, I mean, last Indiana Jones film.
How do you know it's his last Indiana Jones film?
Because he said he's done after this.
Did he say it?
Harrison Ford did say
Did
it.
he say he wanted to die? Did he say, kill me, I'm tired of being Indiana Jones?
Oh my God, Corey.
No, man, this is going to be interesting. I haven't seen the new trailer yet. I've been going back and forth. Trey wanted me to make a video of it. I'm typically not much of a trailer guy because I'm always worried that's going to spoil too much for me when I get into before I get into theaters. But being a content channel, and this is what we do, I've forced myself to watch a lot of trailers. Indiana Jones is one that I'm kind of, I'm kind of protective of because honestly, Harrison Ford, one of my favorite actors. A super cool person. He's flying all around the world. He seems like he lived a life of being Indiana Jones or Han Solo, throughout his personal life as well. So, yes, I'm looking forward to Indiana Jones very much. number 3 is always going to be my favorite. But the first one was great. The second one was, I would say probably 3, 1, 2, 4. And I'm really curious to see where the new one fits in there. I'm hoping it does. I didn't mind the fourth one as much, and the Crystal Skull. I thought there were some cool elements to it and some things that made me laugh. But I was definitely one of those people that the second the hat came off and Shia LaBeouf was standing there, I was like, he does not put that hat on. He does not put that hat on. And he swoops it up and says, "Not yet, kid." I was like, okay, thank God, So I'm curious, to see what happens in this one, because obviously Shia's not in this. We have some. I have some, in our previous trailer review of it, we have some thoughts on who different people may be, but I'm really looking forward to this Indiana Jones series. It's what my 6th birthday was themed on, Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a whole Indiana Jones theme, and Mom and Dad really went full out for you on that one. They made a burnt aged paper thing to make it look like a map. And
no,
Indiana
Jones sent me his personal diary.
Oh, sorry, Indiana Jones
went down in the airplane in the crash. It was recovered and sent to me, and it showed me this treasure that would need to be found in Saltgrass Park in my hometown where we used to live in Florida. And we found the treasure. We got out of there. Corey saved the girl, and it was a fantastic 6th birthday party. Mom and Dad were chaperones. Thanks,
God.
Mom and Dad.
Hey, what parents will do for their kids.
How was your golden birthday?
You got me drunk. But yeah, man, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Make sure you guys check out our trailer reaction for that. I did it with my Wonder Wife, Sarah. And man, it looks like it's going to be a good movie. I won't lie when I say I see what I think Sin Havoc said, where he hopes that they don't, give Phoebe the hat first. I hear you there. I think that would be a mistake if they did something like that. I mean, keep Indy. No one needs to take over his role. He will always be Indiana Jones.
Well, hopefully they saw, because there's no way that it happens again, right? We saw what happened with The Last Jedi, right? There's no way they do that to Harrison Ford, right? What did he say? I hope.
It's Kathleen Kennedy, so I don't feel confident. For me, the fact that's going to be Harrison Ford's last Indiana Jones film, it's going to be John Williams' final movie that he's going to compose for.
Really? He said that too? It's his final?
Yep, John Williams said it's going to be his last film. But he also, James Mangold, who's directing Indiana Jones, and the Dial of Destiny, did confirm that John Williams wrote over 2 hours worth of music for this movie, which is not a surprise. John Williams, he fills every film with music. I don't believe that man knows what a silent bar sounds like. Harrison Ford is going to kill it as Thunderbolt Ross. Oh, I agree. I'm sad about the original actor who passed away. I think a perfect replacement was Harrison Ford. Absolutely. I completely agree. But yeah, man. So Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, it's looking good. They're being kind of quiet. There was a quick panel with Mads Mikkelsen and the director, James Mangold, and the lady who's playing Phoebe. And they asked about her, basically, who is she the daughter of? Which character? And they were very silent about that, which tells me it must not be Marcus Brody. So I'm curious to see, there's some kind of secret going on there. And we talked about if you saw our trailer reaction or just saw simply the thumbnail, that it's going to deal with time travel. So I don't know. Sounds like something weird's going on there. They were very hush hush about it. So we'll have to see when the film comes out June 30th for sure. Comic Book Craig movie says they would be wise to cast a young actor to play Indy and just do his stories in the 30s and 40s. Yeah, I mean, simply kind of like what they did when George Lucas did that Indiana Jones series a while back. They could do that, but I would hold off.
Be careful too, because I didn't like when Han Solo had a younger casting as well. That bothered me as well in the movie Solo. So, man, I don't know.
It's always tough to fill a beloved character's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple.
It's almost better if they just do it later on, much later.
Yeah, I would, after whatever happens, I would recommend to them either they do a spin-off that doesn't involve Indiana Jones and just do, I don't know, whatever they want. But I would say for the character of Indiana Jones, let the community of fans kind of die down a little, not die down, but let it have some breather to where they can accept someone who's not Harrison Ford, kind of take the hat. I always thought Bradley Cooper would have been a great choice for a younger Harrison Ford Indiana Jones, but he's kind of getting to that age now where it kind of makes little sense to maybe have him, but maybe someone else eventually. We'll see.
Right.
But let's go ahead and go now to let's get into Star Wars. Let's talk about some Star Wars stuff, guys, from Star Wars Celebration. One of the cool things that they did was the Star Wars canon timeline. They finally added some stuff to it. Originally, it was just like the High Republic, Fall of the Jedi, Reign of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, the New Republic, and then the Rise of the First Order. That was all they had. I think a couple years ago for Star Wars Celebration. Now they've decided to add a couple more ages in the past and a new age in the future. Corey, go ahead. Let's pull up the slide. They showed this panel here of the timeline, and obviously they're bringing some stuff back from Star Wars Legends, which has me really excited that I can't wait to talk to you guys about. Obviously, probably the thing that people caught on immediately was obviously after the Rise of the First Order, they have the new Jedi Order. We'll talk about that in a little bit. That to me, when I saw that, I was like, where are they going with this? So as a Star Wars fan, and like I said, if you love the sequel trilogy, no shade towards you. No shade. Just the way the prequel trilogy was for me versus, I mean, I remember my dad was like, the prequel trilogy's weird. It's terrible, because he grew up on the originals. For me, the prequel trilogy is Star Wars, and I also love the original. And for me, the sequel trilogy was like, no, I don't even consider that Star Wars. If you like the sequel trilogy and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, awesome. Congrats. You should like a movie when you pay a ticket to go see it in theaters. And a lot of people did. It made over $1 billion. I wasn't expecting them to uncanon, the sequel trilogy when each film made over $1 billion. I was just not a fan of the storytelling that they did there. But we'll talk about the new Jedi Order in a moment. So obviously the Fall of the Jedi, that is, starts with the prequel trilogy right there. That's, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and as it leads into Reign of the Empire, you kind of get those Endors, Bad Batch series, Solo, Rogue One, and then obviously Age of the Rebellion, where you have the original trilogy of The New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, The New Republic, which is kind of where we're in right now with Mandalorian, and obviously Ahsoka and Book of Boba Fett. That's kind of the Dave Filoni verse that's going on right now. Rise of the First Order is obviously the sequel trilogy with Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. And then you have obviously the continuation of what's going to go on in the new Jedi Order. But the High Republic has returned. The High Republic, which is essentially the time frame of basically when the Jedis were on top. There's very little Sith out there. Yoda was very much in his prime. There's a show that's being developed right now for the High Republic called The Acolyte, which they did discuss a little bit, but it sounds like this is still very much in development. They're still filming. They're not releasing a ton of information for us at the moment, but we will dive in a little deeper to The Acolyte soon. Now, the two newest of the Star Wars canon timelines, and one that has me super excited, obviously The Old Republic. The Old Republic hopefully has something to do with Knights of the Old Republic. Those games were fire. I would love to see them do something in that. Who knows what they're going to do, though? I mean, nonetheless, it just looks like they're saying basically it's canon. It exists in this Star Wars world that we're creating. And to me, that's improvement. That's improvement to what they're doing over at Disney, for sure. But the one that has me hyped and excited is the Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi. The person who's going to be heading up this this timeline is going to be James Mangold, who did Indiana Jones 5, Wolverine, Logan. He's done so many great films. And he's also sounds like he's going to be working on Swamp Thing for the new DCU. This guy is super talented. So when I heard James Mangold's going to be taking over this time era, which basically takes place 25,000 to 26,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, so a long ass time ago, and it was based on comics, and they also did some books about it, but some really cool stuff with the Dawn of the Jedi. So to kind of like summarize it, I mean like really summarize all the craziness that Dawn of the Jedi will deal with. Obviously, it's supposed to deal with the beginning of the Jedi. And essentially there's this idea that on Typhon, which we actually saw in the Mandalorian show season 2 with Baby Grogu, where we met Boba Fett for the first time again after everything that went down. Yes. Essentially there were these things called Thoyors, and they're like these relic pyramid ships that were like picking up force sensitive beings all around the galaxy and bringing them to Typhon, where they would like basically learn about the force and develop their skills. And near Typhon were these two moons. There was a dark moon, I believe it was called like Bogan, something like that. And then there was a light moon that was called Ashla. And that was kind of obviously the Jedis who were like the Jedis that were on the light moon, focused on the light side of the force. The people that were on Bogar were on the dark side of the force. But more importantly, and you can kind of get this by looking at the logo of Dawn of the Jedi, is that they believed in balance back then. They believed in the gray Jedi not having so much of the light side of the force or the dark side. So what they would do is that if there was someone who was like solely light side of the force and heavily drawn to that, they would actually send them to the other moon where it honed in on those powers, the dark side of the powers, so that way they could create a perfectly balanced Jedi. Some cool stuff there. So there's a lot of great things that they could do with Dawn of the Jedi. The Rakatans, from Star Wars Legends, which were those like superior warrior species that were very connected to the Force. They were like these amphibious humanoids that enslaved all these other like force sensitive beings, and like they were like a crazy group, just like going around planet to planet enslaving people and stuff like that. So there's a whole battle that goes on with them. It's
so they're just killing everything that was force sensitive, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah, basically, yeah.
In some ways, too bad they didn't get them all, because we wouldn't have had these later issues.
Well, I mean, then again, there wouldn't be anybody because they eat people. I mean, they would even eat their own kind. They were a crazy group of they were a crazy species.
Oh, wow.
And it was all from like the Dark Horse comics, which were some of my favorite like Star Wars comics back then. I haven't read too much of the Marvel comics since then. But like the Dark Horse comics with the Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi were some solid stuff. Highly recommend. You know, but Dawn of the Jedi looks extremely, to me, when I heard that announcement and James Mangold was gonna basically head up 25,000 years ago, sign me up. I'm looking forward to whatever that has to tell us. You know, it's gonna be cool. Corey, what's the chat saying? Out of curiosity, based off this Star Wars canon timeline, like, are people excited? Like,
yeah. So put in the chat if you're kind of interested in this timeline. If you like the layout. Sin Havoc said Acolyte and Ahsoka are going to be insane.
yes, I agree.
Kari Saberwolf said the lightsabers were what really got me into Star Wars. See, that's probably the same kind of same for you too, isn't it, Trey?
Sorry, say that when I was ending the Star Wars
lightsabers
poll.
were what really got me into Star Wars.
The lightsabers?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Weirdly, and I mean, obviously the Jedis were what got me into Star Wars, but I mean, really, what like hooked me into Star Wars was the clones.
Oh, interesting.
I know Oracle asks this all the time because she wants to know the story. When I was a kid and I saw Attack of the Clones for the first time, I think I was like 7 or 8. And I had like thought up a whole Star Wars story that, you know, it's kind of cool because weirdly I'm seeing some of the story that I was going to, like, what I would have loved to seen live action or animated is kind of happened in Clone Wars and in Bad Batch, you know, something similar of that effect, where it really focused on clones and kind of their place in the world, being that they're a shade of a person that existed, you know, someone that was real, and kind of dealing with their sacrifice for society that doesn't accept them or look at them at anything but property. You know, and how these soldiers are treated and stuff like that. It was really going to focus on brotherhood, but specifically a character that was going to be a very special batch of clones. That's why when I started watching Bad Batch, I was like, oh my God, this is like literally pulling some stuff from, I mean, obviously they didn't read my script or anything, but like a cool story that I was developing as a kid that maybe one day I would love, like maybe when we do a Patreon, and, you know, we're a big YouTube channel and we can hire people to make a comic out of it, like a fan-made comic, like that would be dope. Oracle, I'll get that done at some point.
The Batman said, I love the new timeline layout. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Trey.
No, you're good.
Tim Stock is in the house. He says, on your left.
What's up, Tim? Hope you're doing well, bro.
I am definitely looking forward to more Star Wars movies and shows, especially Ahsoka. Seeing the orange-red lightsaber got me want to watch the series. Absolutely. Comic Book Craig Movie says, hey, Trey, check your DMs on Twitter. Check your DMs on Twitter, Trey. The Nightwing says, I'm excited to see Thrawn in a live action. Oracle's Clock Tower said you should do it, Trey. I want to hear about this. Absolutely. It's a pretty cool thing from what I've kind of heard of it all. So exciting stuff. Yeah, man. I think overall, for me,
that's cool, dude.
The new timeline is super interesting. The one that pops out to me the most out of the new stuff is easily Dawn of the Jedi as well, too. Yeah. So,
not sure if this will show up well.
Trey, send it to me and
send it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can pull it up.
Keep talking while I'm figuring out.
Send it to me on Twitter.
Okay.
Just forward it. Yeah. So, as far as the timeline goes, yes, looking forward to what they do, and they couldn't have picked a better director for that series. You know, like it's going to have that grittiness to it, which I think he's going to really excel at. So. Yeah, I'm looking very forward to it.
All right, Corey, I'm going to put it in our Delta Squad chat.
So that way you can... I'll move there right now.
Okay. That's very cool, Craig. That's awesome, dude. I have no idea which one you are, but I know you said far back in the right. But that's cool that you have a picture of that, dude. That's exciting stuff. I wonder, was that like a press thing? I don't know.
It does look like
Well, it is a dream. I should say it's a dream.
Well, I guess, are we allowed to present the sequel with us?
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't even ask Comic, but Craig, are you okay if we show this on our channel? Let us know in the chat if you are okay with it. I think it's cool. It's a cool picture. But Sin Havoc says, Train Corey, which episode do you think Moff Gideon will show up in? I next episode, very next. If they don't show him, they wasted a lot of time in this season. I will say season 3 has been a waste if Moff Gideon doesn't show up. Right. If he shows up at the very end as leading in to season 4 of The Mandalorian, then I would say it was silly.
Absolutely. Ninja like Jedis and Sith. Absolutely. Comic Book Craig Moose said, go for it.
Bro. That'd be cool. All like right. the old monks that they did in the Dawn of the Jedi era. That'd be cool. Yeah.
So I'm going to make it big screen.
All right. Comic Book Craig, you'll have to tell us which one you are. I had a guess that you were like the kid kind of standing up, kind of facing towards the camera with like, I don't know, maybe white or khaki pants. I was guessing that was maybe you, but
oh yeah, sure. If you're like looking at the far right, you're talking about like on that initial railing looking down, there's 1, 2, 3, fourth over.
Oh, yeah, the fourth over, yeah. Who's kind of near that older gentleman
with the white pants, with the older gentleman with his like
hand next to his face.
Hand next to his face, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. I'll wait for my $1 million check in the mail. Yeah, there we go. We gotta start. I'm out.
We have to start paying for it now.
I'm out on that crop way in the back. Oh, okay. Okay.
So he's he said that. So he's. I wonder if he's that guy. The far right. Interesting.
That's cool, dude.
That's really cool. Nice, man.
Nice. I'm assuming based off the line, was that from the day that it was sold out and you guys had to leave? that would have been unfortunate, but great to see, man. Fans all around just hyped as hell. You know what? Now thinking about it, Corey, I don't recall a time where you went to a movie theaters where the line was like there was a long line, except for when Phantom Menace came out. I think that was the last time I remember that like you were waiting at a far back line, like almost like you're at an amusement park trying to get on a ride.
Right.
Then Phantom Menace.
What's up, Retro Nerd Girl? Retro Nerd Girl is in his house.
Retro. It's always good to see you guys. If you have not subscribed to the Retro Nerd Girl, you need to. Just do it. You know how I feel about the Retro Nerd Girl. She's amazing. Also subscribe to Tim's Plays. I know he was here just a moment ago. Tim Talks does an absolutely, sorry, I said Tim's Plays when I saw Taladia Plays. Sorry, Taladia. Taladia has a YouTube channel as well. Check out his channel. Does some great gaming streams over there. But Tim's Talks does a lot of great Star Wars content. In fact, him and I talk about a lot of similar things. We honestly, I know we keep saying it, Tim, but we at some point we just need to hop on each other's show and do something together, because we often talk about the same damn thing. But please subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. He's a goat. Enjoy his content, quite a bit.
That was the Phantom Menace lining up for 8 hours to get tickets.
8 hours? Oh.
Wow.
That hurts. Wow. Bless your heart. My goodness. But yeah, man, Dawn of the Jedi, it's sounding very, very cool. And they there's a possibility, if you guys pay attention to the logo of Dawn of Jedi, it looks very similar to the one that Rey Palpatine
it
saw
looks
on Octu with Skywalker, Luke.
Mm-hmm. But even look at the new Jedi Order as well. They're definitely copying themes of the Dawn of the Jedi and the Old Republic.
Yes, but also more importantly, it's for the Dawn of the Jedi. We talked about how the Jedi really worked hard, and you're probably like wondering, like, Trey, why are you saying Jedi, like being like fancy with it? Is because the old way of saying Jedi, it's like J-E apostrophe D-A-I-I, Jedi. Yeah, Jedi, and eventually became Jedi.
No, didn't Jedi with it. No, didn't Jedi with
it. But it's very much supposed to look like a yin yang because of the balance, that they were really focusing with those old Jedi back then, where they wanted them to be balanced with the dark side of the Force and the light side of the Force. The yin and the yang.
So oh my god! So they wanted the dark and the light to work together,
which is why the Jedi failed over time, because they believed in no dark Force abilities at all, really.
Bro, then I'm just gonna spoil the new Jedi Order right now. With that being kind of the combination, who's going to do it better than Rey Palpatine?
But see, that was the thing we'll get into that. I have a lot of things I want to talk about that.
Already huffing and puffing, guys. Oh boy.
But hey, man, yeah, the new Star Wars canon timeline is looking fire. I love the new additions they added, especially in the past timeline before the Battle of Yavin. So I'm looking forward to what James Mangold has to say. 26,000 years in the past. Sign me up. Akari Saberwolf says, how excited are y'all for the remake of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic? Insanely. I mean, it's a game that needed to be remade in a long time, but it's just a great game. I don't think I ever beat it though, now thinking about it, because I was really young when I started playing it, and I wasn't good at games like that yet. But I remember for the few times I did play it, I loved it. I had such a great time with it,
How did you play, Trey? Were you kind of following more of the?
I tried to be a Jedi. Yeah, Corey. Guess who Corey tried to be, guys?
I would say I was a Jedi, but I was embracing it from the beginning, and I always have been embracing it from the beginning. I wasn't Sith, but I wasn't afraid to lay down the law. Peace through superior firepower. If somebody needed to be destroyed, they were destroyed. Force choking. I'm all about this new way of being the yin and yang, learning all sides of the Force, the dark sides of the Force, the light side of the Forces. Come on. That's the oldest trick in the book. Look at Harry Potter. They were teaching people Avada Kedavra and stuff like that.
They were teaching them they weren't there was more defense.
They were teaching Crucio, big fella.
Which is what they were doing. No, that one teacher did, but he was not that teacher. He was a deaf,
I bet he's still Dumbledore knew exactly what was being taught, Trey. Dumbledore.
Oh my God. Well, you're making the case that Harry Potter is just a ripoff of Star Wars.
It is
like that one comedian. Yep. But Corey, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. This one's a quick one. These next couple are some quick ones. But Ewan McGregor has always been my favorite ever since I saw Phantom Menace. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, granted, wasn't the best storytelling, but I enjoyed the show because the nostalgic and innocence to it was very reminiscent of the original trilogy. The prequel trilogy. I called it original because it was original to me, but was very reminiscent of the prequel trilogy. And plus, that scene with Darth Vader and Obi-Wan at the end was amazing. Worth it all the way. Ewan did stop by for a Star Wars quick little panel and talked about that he would love to see Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2. However, while we were all excited and thinking like, yes, let's do it, have no idea what kind of story you would do for it, but Kathleen Kennedy quickly shot down any type of rumors because she said nothing is in active development, which hurt my soul. Damn you, Kathleen Kennedy.
But on the flip side too, maybe she's being overly, oh yeah, it's definitely not going to happen. There's nothing in production because it's actually going to happen.
Maybe, I mean, here's the thing. It's like, to me, it's like if Ewan wants to do it, then start finding a story to do. Like, obviously, if it's the right and it's a good story and it's worth telling, maybe it doesn't need to be a series. Maybe you do a movie, one-off movie, where it's just 90 minutes long, just telling about a certain adventure that Obi-Wan went on, and maybe lead it up into Star Wars Rebels when Obi-Wan fights a certain Sith, one last time. That would be cool, and maybe expand upon that battle.
I think she's a
Liar!
But as Red Hooded Outlaw point out, but man, they could do so much with Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2, bro. Think about this. You bring Qui-Gon Jinn into this.
It was great seeing Liam Neeson, right?
Right.
Hello, Obi-Wan.
You bring him into this and teach him, have him go on the trials of, he's reconnected with the Force again. He's going to have to start learning, some deeper things. This could be a totally great, training montage for sure. Yes, you're going to need some action and stuff like that. So, I'm sure Obi-Wan Kenobi is doing everything that he possibly can to keep, certain somebody safe on Tatooine.
Well, I mean, sure. I mean, at some point they're gonna have to not put him on so many adventures that it's like he wasn't really in hiding, and Darth Vader knows he's out there, and
no. He could be on Tatooine the entire time, big fella.
Oh, and just do side missions like that.
Yeah, maybe
go
he goes
against
off,
the bounty hunters. Maybe book, Boba Fett.
Yeah, maybe he goes off and sees Yoda one last time.
Oh,
Dagobah system.
That could be cool. That might be kind of fun. I don't know. I'd be down with that. Maybe even see Ahsoka one last time.
Absolutely. There is things that they could do. Absolutely things that they could do.
That's fair. So, out of curiosity, everyone in the chat, let us know. Are you down for more Obi-Wan?
Yes, that's what people are saying. Retro Nerd Girl says, I love the Obi-Wan series too. The Batman said, loved Obi-Wan series. I want more. The Butler said, he said he wanted more. He said he wanted more. Do I have that one? Oh, sad. I lost it. That would be awesome, actually. The Butler said, yes. Nightwing says, more Obi-Wan shows. Yes, a miniseries or a movie. I am down for more Kenobi, says # Restore the Snyderverse guy. Yes. Hell yeah, from Red Hooded Outlaw. Do it. From Beyond the Night. Sin Havoc said, if Obi-Wan gets a season 2, they need to have a time jump, maybe 10 years.
Yeah, let's think about that. 5 years. Yeah, that would put it 2 years before, right? Because isn't it 5 years? Or no, it's 10 years. No, it couldn't be 10 years. It would probably actually need to be a 5-year jump. Because then that would still put you, because I think they already had a 10-year jump. So that puts it 7 years away from when Luke goes off and does, A New Hope. So,
Oracle's Clock Tower says, more Kenobi, please. Hell yeah, says the Batman. Trevor H says, I would dig it. Sucks Bulletin says, yes, more Obi-Wan. And El Necron brings up a great idea. More Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul.
It would be cool if they led Necron, you know what I'm talking about. It'd be cool if they led right up to that battle. It would be dope. My man. It's good to see you, Necron, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Check out El Necron's channel, man. The Witching Hour has been freaking fire. Especially Pandora's Box with Mikey's son dropping some major bombs.
The Witching Hour will melt your face off.
Melt your face off. So it sounds like, Kathleen Kennedy, if you're watching this, you already know the galaxy wants more Obi-Wan Kenobi. If Ewan McGregor...
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Just do it. Execute contract. Get him signed. Yeah. You know how I feel, man. Like, yes, I want more Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's my favorite character of all time. Yes, I want more Obi-Wan Kenobi. Corey, next slide. Now, here's some of the weirdness that's going on. We've heard for a while that Taika Waititi is still working on a Star Wars film. There was some concern that maybe it was going to be shut down because it's like Rogue Squadron that Patty Jenkins was working on was shut down. Kevin Feige's film was shut down. And according to Kathleen Kennedy, the Kevin Feige film was shut down, which was a surprise to everyone because obviously he knows what he's doing over at Marvel. But she says it was shut down because nothing was getting done with it. Like there was no script, nothing really in development, nothing really coming together on it. So she was like, we're pulling out of it, which I find that hard to believe personally, because I mean, it's like I said, it's Kevin Feige. He's getting a lot done over at Marvel, so he must be able to pull something together for Star Wars. I don't know, who knows what's going on there, but this one I am kind of happy about. Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy not actively in development. I'm sorry, Rian. I do like Rian Johnson's films, like the whole Knives Out, Glass Onion. I like those films. I like those films a lot. Last Jedi made me hate Star Wars for a little bit. So when I heard he was working on a trilogy, I was not looking forward to it. But when I heard it's no longer actively in development, that kind of, and she said it's because he's busy. But I'm hoping that was just the polite way of saying we're not actively pursuing it any further, because there was a lot of backlash from people who didn't want to see what more he had to say. So, yeah. Akari says, would love to see Cal Kestis meet Obi-Wan Kenobi. Bro,
yes.
And the actor who plays Cal Kestis, he looks the role because they designed it after him. So that would be easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Though, I don't know. Are they actually considering Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order canon?
They need to.
I hope they do, but like the only reason why I say I don't think it is canon is because of when they went to the Grand Inquisitor's world, it wasn't the same designs that we saw. I mean, there were some similar things, but there's a few things they didn't do that were the same. You know, so that makes me wonder a little bit. Sin Havoc says, no, Taika Waititi for Star Wars directing, just play the droid, Taika. I agree with you on this. Once again, Taika has done films I do like Jojo Rabbit, but I don't like Thor 3 and 4. Actually, to me, those are the worst Thor films, personally. But if you like Taika stuff, I think he's hilarious. I love What We Do in the Shadows. I thought he was hilarious with that stuff. But to me, I don't want him bringing his style of comedy to Star Wars, because we saw what that was like in the last episode of Mandalorian, and it did not work. At least not for me. And it sounds like it didn't work for a lot of people. What's that?
Like Free Guy.
He didn't write that.
Didn't he?
No. That was like Ryan Reynolds and his team.
Oh, so he didn't write it. He was just...
I don't know. Was he in it? I don't know. Who knows? Was not, though. So like you said, sounds like Taika Waititi's still getting his film. He's working away on it. It doesn't mean it's officially
He did Flight of the Conchords.
Taika did Flight of the Conchords?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess that makes sense with him being a Kiwi. So yeah. You know, I mean, hey, like I said, I think he's funny. I just don't want that obnoxious satire comedy in Star Wars. To me, that will kind of ruin the nostalgicness, and really it won't feel like Star Wars to me at that point. I could be wrong.
He was just an actor and Free Guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do recall that. Corey, next slide. Another announcement. This one made me extremely happy. If you guys saw our Star Wars Tales of the Jedi Season 1 review, you knew that we freaking loved Tales of the Jedi. The whole Delta Squad team was all about it. It was amazing animation. It looked like the final season of Clone Wars. Oh, man. They have officially announced Star Wars Tales of the Jedi Season 2. It's coming to Disney Plus. Yes. Oh, yeah, dude. Corey, out of curiosity, is there stories that they really kind of focused on prequel trilogy stories with Count Dooku, a younger Qui-Gon Jinn, and then Ahsoka shortly after the events of Revenge of the Sith? Are there stories that you would like to see them pursue further?
I don't need any Ahsoka here. I just want all the Count Dooku.
You want more Count Dooku?
More Count Dooku. I am 100% team Count Dooku. Just like my homeboy Christopher Lloyd was the other day. Count Dooku was right.
Let us know in the chat, guys. What if for Tales of the Jedi? What do you want to see more of? Are there characters you want to see them expand upon in the Star Wars lore? I'd be curious to hear. Me personally, Count Dooku is a great one. He's such a fascinating character that I can see why people want. I would love to see maybe a story. What's that?
There's one more that I'm thinking of. Say it. I'm waiting for you to say it.
For a Sith?
No. He's a Jedi.
He's a Jedi. Mace Windu?
No. I don't like Mace Windu.
You don't like him because he did give up on Anakin too easily.
He definitely did. No, I like Mace Windu as a character, but if you saw, Mace Windu was a jerk in Tales of the Jedi, so I did not like Mace Windu either.
He was definitely the reflection of what was going wrong with the Jedi.
Absolutely.
During their highest point.
It's a Jedi that I want to see more of. It's a Jedi.
Yoda.
Nope. Qui-Gon.
You want to see more Qui-Gon?
Yes. And I want to see more of Qui-Gon, just, the teachings that he got, because especially since they're dual fates, how people say that if Qui-Gon trained Anakin, that things would have gone a whole lot differently. Obi-Wan gave up too soon. Obi-Wan was a horrible teacher. Nothing from you?
What do you mean? Oh, that Obi-Wan was a terrible teacher? Man.
He was.
I think I loved what Oracle said, having a Mace Windu. I think it'd be good to kind of show his background, maybe show who his master was, to kind of get an understanding of where that confidence and that ego was driven, and to see the type of young Jedi Mace Windu was. What made him so powerful? Because he pulls from the dark side. His type of fighting, he absorbs it. So the more dark side energy his opponent gives, the more he's able to use it against them, which is why he was able to take down Emperor Palpatine so easily. So I would love to see maybe the questionable and controversial decisions that maybe the other Jedi's reactions to him doing that, to using that type of power. He did some shady stuff for sure. I would also love to see, that is an awesome one, Butler. Master Sifo-Dyas. I always thought if they went into a little bit more about Master Sifo-Dyas, that would be cool to get. Obviously it was Count Dooku who ended up and Palpatine who got the clones started,
Darth
but
Bane.
It would be interesting. Darth Bane, a Tales of the Sith would be cool. Yeah, to do a Darth Bane. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Whatever they want to do with Tales of the Jedi, sign me up. Young Yoda would be cool. There was a character that I was kind of thinking of. I mean, I know this is not Tales of the this isn't a Jedi, but a story that origin story I would love to see more. And I know they kind of did it in the comics. But
Rey
I would love to
Skywalker.
see Jango Fett.
Oh, Jango Fett.
Yeah, I would love to see how he was picked from, Tyrannus, Count Dooku, and see his whole history about how he became the bounty hunter that he is and why the Kaminoans picked him.
That'd be cool.
Tim's Talk says Tales of the Jedi was dope with Dooku. Oh, absolutely. So every episode was a 9.5, and up. Qui-Gon story. Yeah, Qui-Gon would be cool. Not gonna lie. I'd be down for more Qui-Gon for sure. Maybe even some of Cal Kestis's his master's story. That would be cool. I'm totally spacing whose master was, what his name was. That That'd be cool. Something that leads into that for sure. But Tales of the Jedi season 2, that was a special surprise. We kind of knew it was coming because it was such a success with season 1, but to hear Dave Filoni especially talk about how he really enjoyed doing those episodes warmed my heart to know that this live action stuff isn't pulling him away from something that he's really good at, which is the animation lore. Corey, let's go to the next slide. Now, this one broke my heart, guys. I'm not gonna lie, this one broke my heart. Bad Batch season 2 was phenomenal. The ending, heartstrings pulled. Hey, but Star Wars Celebration has announced that the Bad Batch will return for a third and sadly final season. Yeah.
Can I get real with you for a second?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Bad Batch yet. That's something that I'm working on. But I'm kind of okay if they end this Bad Batch story. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I think it's time for a live action Bad Batch or live action clones stories.
See, here's the issue. I think you run into that, but maybe with now the cost of it though, to de-age Tamara Morrison, which
no, it could be completely different people then.
I mean, I guess the Bad Batch doesn't have to look exactly like Tamara Morrison, so I guess it kind of works. But yeah, I mean,
it could be somebody completely different than Bad Batch. I want Clone Wars, live action Clone Wars, but Bad Batch style live action Clone Wars.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey man, if they want to do more, I know some people say they're getting tired of like Clone Wars era stuff and like clone troopers, and like for me, no. That's some of the best Star Wars writing is the whole story about the brotherhood of the clones, and what they've been doing with this last season of Bad Batch, really diving deep and what happens to the clones after the rise of the Empire is terrifying. It's brilliant, and it's a great story. I'm blown away by it, and I can't wait to see where they go with it. Mm-hmm. But Tim Talk says, Omega, rest in peace. Are we going to see her live action in the Mandoverse movie? That'd be cool, but I don't know. I don't know. That'd be cool. I'd be down to see Omega, see her Adventures of Omega. I don't know. That'd be interesting. I still think there's more to Omega than what has been revealed.
Kind of continuing on, Oracle's Clock Tower said, yes, live action Bad Batch, bro. Think about it. This would be perfect to compete against Halo, the series.
They definitely could go with it that route. That kind of what Halo's doing, the brotherhood, the specialty of that unit. Because they were like the Bad Batch. Clone Force 99 was very much like the SEALs of the clone army. So yeah, man, I'd be down for that. Sign me up.
Absolutely. Tim Stock also says, I want Tamara Morrison with a blonde wig playing Omega.
Like a panther. Yes.
Like a panther.
With a blonde wig, like a panther. God, no. Now I will never be able to get that out of my mind. So sad that the final season of Bad Batch, hopefully it's like 16 episodes again, because if it's a short-lived season, that's gonna depress me. But Bad Batch season 3 coming in 2024, gonna be a wild ride. Lots of craziness going on with there, and hopefully they answer some questions about the final stages of the clone army, and they were kind of revealing some secrets that I think were leading up to the sequel trilogy with Palpatine and cloning that might even tie in with what is going on with Grogu and cloning. Maybe Grogu would show up in the Bad Batch. I don't know. Possibly. Possibly. Corey, now here's something that Star Wars Celebration also announced. that is getting a new season. Star Wars Visions Volume 2. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys right now. I did not watch the first volume. I don't know why. When I heard it was just mini stories that were not really canon and they were just kind of separate anime like Star Wars, I was kind of like, yeah, I only kind of want to watch stuff that is actually canon and stuff I'm going to have to remember, not just these one-off stories that don't really matter. But people keep telling me, Trey, you're wrong. You need to check this out. No. I'm told that this Volume 2 won't affect Volume 1 because it's completely different mini stories that don't affect the first volume. So I figured right here with you guys, we would do a quick trailer reaction with Super Bro Corey and I, and you guys can see it right here. So Corey, can you pull up, I think it's the second link I sent you.
Cool.
We'll go ahead and pull up this Star Wars Visions. In a way, it's kind of like Tales of the Jedi, but it's different types of animation. It kind of reminds me of like an animated movie they did with Batman once, where it was like multiple different mini stories and they had different animation teams do it. So it looked differently aesthetically each episode. So something kind of similar here. But Corey, let's go ahead and do this. Hopefully you guys have your headphones ready. And as always, if you haven't hit that like button yet, do it.
Do it.
Do it. All right, here we go. Coming down in 3, 2, 1, play. Sound like a Darth Bane.
Whoa. Oh, yeah.
It's like a sword, dude.
That's menacing. Whoa.
Everyone has an inner light.
Follow the light.
I always knew you were meant for bigger things.
What if you just keep going?
No need to fear. There are others like you here. I saw it myself. She has special powers.
Can you get your porta potty off the starting line?
She's a total...
Exactly.
Like chicken run.
Don't be afraid. May the force be with
Whoa.
It's showtime.
Whoa.
The storm is approaching.
I can fight them. I'm strong enough now.
No one is stronger than them.
We can beat them.
You there. Hold it.
May 4th.
We cannot choose where our calling takes us.
Is that a different color lightsaber?
Whoa.
You know what? I'm going to applaud you guys. Batdan, thank you for sending me that link. And I think Socks did it as well. I was wrong. I need to check this out, apparently. That looks dope. I don't care if it is canon or not.
Whoa.
Corey, am I crazy? Did that one lightsaber, it looked like an Inquisitor lightsaber, like kind of like Darth Maulish. One side was one color and another side was different.
I missed that part, so I was just kind of blown away back from everything. Yeah, it's man, I've never been really into like the anime side of things, but like you said too, Trey, this is something I'm gonna have to check out as well. When they had the lightsabers like clashing, and it was like kind of like 4th of July sparkling. Yeah. It kind of reminded when we were kids, playing around with little sparklers and stuff as lightsabers. So like Man, dude, that was really cool.
It looked like one of them had kind of like an unstable kyber crystal, kind of like Kylo Ren did.
So how long are the visions? Like I don't. This is something that I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
guess it's like
about.
Tales of the Jedi, where it's like not even 20 minutes. Like some of these episodes are probably like 10 minutes.
How many episodes are in Volume 1?
I'm not sure exactly. Can someone in the chat tell us how many episodes are in Volume 1, and if you happen to know the average duration? If they're, my guess is they're pretty short. But that, I'm gonna. You guys were right. I was wrong. You know. 8 Sin Havoc is saying 8 or 9 episodes. Okay. And that's cool. I love the concept that it's these multiple different animation studios, because you can see clearly the resemblance. Like some of them look like Big Hero. Was it Big Hero 8?
Yeah.
And then like someone had like a Chicken Run animation. Like I remember that movie. And some of it looked like the old school like animation stuff. So Retro Nerd Girl saying, watch party?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We may have to do a watch party.
You know what? Good point. We'll probably do Volume 1. And then the next day when Volume 2 is released. Retro, I'll do it if you
have to start it now. We have to start it now.
Start it right now during the stream.
Right now.
right now. Do it.
Wow.
That was cool. I'm not gonna lie. There was some really, I mean, can someone tell me? I was told that these stories aren't canon. They're not really a part of the Star Wars order. They're just interesting story, Star Wars stories being told through different animation styles. Can someone tell me, are they considered canon? I don't know. Sox Bolton says, sorry, can you go back to that last one, Corey? Star Wars Revisions reminds me of Sex, Death, and Robots on Netflix. I haven't seen that, but I'll take your word for it. I always say a lot of people seem like they're into it. It's really good. Trade looks great.
Tim Sock said I like season 1. It's either
a hit or a miss, though. Okay.
Watch party, yes, and Retro Nerd Girl is in. Let's do this.
Do it. I love it. Well, guys, I dig that, but you know what? We're not done with the reactions just yet. I figured we'll do it back to back here because the new, as we talked about earlier, the new Star Wars Jedi Survivor final gameplay trailer came out as well the other day. You already know. Man, the game was phenomenal. It had the fighting controls that you would in like Star Wars Force Unleashed, so that got me hyped. But the fact that you could do some customizations with a lightsaber and your droid, come on now, you're taking me to what they call it, Galaxy's Edge. You're making me feel like I'm there when I can't afford it at the moment. Making me feel like I can create my own lightsaber. No, man. Like I said, first game was awesome. Corey, do you have the second trailer up?
Working on it right now, bud.
Thank you, good sir. I appreciate it. But guys, out of curiosity, score the first game for me. If you played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, give us a score. What would you rate it? Best out of 10, 10 being the best. If you did play it, go ahead.
Go
Corey.
for it. No, go for it.
I'm probably like it's. I'm going to give it an. I'm like at an 8.9 or a 9.1.
So I'll say right now, I'm going to grade it kind of differently.
Okay.
Score as far as story goes, it was a masterpiece. We're talking 9.7.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you're talking about just story, then yeah, 9.7.
As far as gameplay goes, I'm probably going to give it a 7.3. And the reason I give it a little bit as far as gameplay goes, this is only because of me. I'm not great at those types of melee games and the countering things. So there was plenty of times where I died a lot and I had trouble getting past certain people at certain difficulties. I'm just not used to, like, Trey had to come in and help me. I'd be like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And he's like, block, parry. and strike. And that's the rhythm that they're doing. Yeah, so I'm not used to that style of gameplay, so it was difficult for me in that sense. Also, I got kind of tired of running the map back. So after I ran into the mission, it was frustrating to have to run back all the way, and the kind of the respawning of the same characters. I wish that would get. So that's me really nitpicking as far as story mode goes. It was a masterpiece.
That Order 66 scene was phenomenal.
Ooh,
I got choked up the moment they played the music. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Like not this again.
Corey, play it for me real quick. Man, that when the Order 66 scene happened, I was like, damn. I heard playing it, and watching it go down, but
the time has come. Execute Order 66.
It was just such a great game. Like I said, I love the customization. I agree with Corey. Having to run like all the way back was kind of ridiculous because especially, yes, they created loopholes that you could go through, but I was used to doing stuff like that because I loved playing the Arkham Knight games, which are pretty much the same thing, just a different universe, right? The story was great, but I did hate that when you had to slide down those scenes, I sucked at that too.
You know what game that I would like to see like that though?
What?
I would like to play an Order 66 game.
Don't you say it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'd love to play an Order 66 game. But I would like to be able to play both sides.
You want to be the clone.
I want to be the clone. I want to be Vader going into the temple.
That's actually kind of interesting when you think about it, Corey. Like Star Wars Battlefront 2, they have the hunt mode for the Ewoks on Endor. Why they should have done like an Order 66 hunt where you have a team of clones and someone could be the hero Vader.
Destiny,
And then that would have. You want it, my man. You want it. Now, before we get taken down by Disney, Corey, you probably should stop the music. No, but yeah, Disney's already they're playing it too long. All right, so guys, here we go. We're gonna check out the final gameplay trailer.
Real quick. People rated the original one as a 9/10 from the Batman.
Okay.
The Butler gave it an 8/7.
Nice.
9/2 from Beyond the Night.
Okay.
Damn, I want this new game on PS4, and it's not made for PS4. I love Fallen Order, absolutely.
Yeah.
9/10 from Socks Bulletins. Sin Havoc said Visions, but I'm not sure. They're at least one episode. 9 from hashtag Restore the Snyderverse guy. Get on PC if you can. Socks 8/4 from Bat Fanatic. Akari gave it a 10.
Damn.
Oracle's Clock Tower.
That's solid, but for you loving lightsabers, Akari, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a great game for lightsabers.
I liked it, but it's not my kind of game. 7/8.
Okay.
8.7. The story was great, but the gameplay was kind of wonky. The Force Unleashed games are still my favorite. Absolutely, Force Unleashed.
Yeah, man, the Force Unleashed games.
I'll give it a 9. And the Nightwing said, "I'll train you, Corey."
You know what I recently beat the Republic Commando games, but I did download, Corey, guess what I downloaded?
What you download, Trey?
Star Wars Jedi Academy. You remember that one?
Love that game.
Love it too. That was the first Star Wars game that I can recall that you could customize your character and stuff like that and choose his path in a way. No?
I'm pretty sure
or did Knights of the Old Republic, the original one, came out before that?
That was pretty sure Knights of the Old Republic came out before that.
Nonetheless, Jedi Academy, I may have to play that one again. It's been a long time, but I love that game. Man. All right, guys, here we go. The Star Wars Jedi Survivor official final gameplay trailer. We're going to do our quick reaction. I'll probably break out these videos, for a quick short a little later on, but here we go. Hope you have your headphones ready. Coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Uno.
Play.
You were only a child when they sent you off to war. Now look at you. The weight of a galaxy on your shoulders.
Didn't I tell you to be more careful about who you scan?
Yeah.
Come on.
I cannot tell you who you must become, or where the line is drawn. There are no easy choices. These are dark times. We have few allies.
Good to see you, Cal.
The odds are against us. And they will always be against us.
Now or never.
Seems our destinies are intertwined.
Oh man!
But I can tell you this:
Droidicons.
if there is any hope of surviving, we must stand against the darkness.
Wow. Oh, chills. Chills and goosebumps, man.
Yes. Get it, son.
Wow.
Oh man. Well, you know what? I was gonna wait for Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League to start our gaming channel, but it may be time to get it started for Jedi Survivor. I don't know.
Wow.
That's insane.
Wow.
Ooh.
Akari said the only problem I had with Jedi Fallen Order was when Cal is first meeting Saul, the game would skip a bit.
Oh yeah, I do recall that. Yeah.
Man, holy cow, dude! That new trailer is fire. I was seeing those TIE fighters flying around. I was like, oh man, I better see. Obviously, he's more powerful now. Can he stop one?
Yeah.
No, he's just gonna throw a guy up and let him get smashed by one.
I feel like we've done that before with the Force Unleashed. I feel like we would pick up a guy and hold it to where a TIE fighter would go, but to see that it's an actual like full on animation and it's not you like forcing it to happen, you know, and sometimes dropping the guy before it happened.
Wow.
That is awesome. Oh man, that's gonna be such a good game. It looks like they really improved the lightsaber controls and actions with it, and some of the new moves that you can do. I don't recognize who this villain is that's going to be in it, but exciting stuff for sure. I'm curious about the droidicas. I mean, we do know that some battle droids were around, and some people still. I mean, obviously, we saw the recent episode with Mandalorian where they still had them on that planet, but they were using them for kind of, as a workforce. So I'd be curious if maybe he's on a similar planet, or maybe he went to some separatist world that still had them commissioned. I don't know. That's curious though. April 28th.
That's soon.
Isn't that also when they're doing the Star Wars Return of the Jedi?
Yes. And
Star Wars and SnyderCon. So
I guess I'm gonna need to get a new Xbox, Trey.
Delay it again. Yeah. Corey, time to get you a new Xbox, buddy, because we gotta play some of these games together.
Just send me your Xbox when you're done playing.
Just ship it up there. I don't think so, big fella. It cost an arm and a leg. Still hurting. Now, man, that was cool. Very excited for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I definitely plan on getting that game. Let us know in the chat. Would you guys be down if the Bat Channel did kind of like what Orc and Beans does over on Twitch? If we created a gaming channel that, we did Star Wars Jedi Survivor, we did the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, any new DC games that come out. Would you guys be down for that? I don't know. I've never considered myself a major gamer, but you know what? Reviewing some of these games would be kind of fun. Oh, I'd be down for it. Corey, would you do it? Would you, if we got you a new Xbox, would you do a gaming channel with us?
Yeah, I played some games with you.
Some games.
Yes, some games.
Some games, not all. Love games.
Love games. No, yeah, I'm. See, but here's my thing. You're a much better video gamer than I am. So, like,
which is crazy because I would say the same about you. When I was little, you would kick ass.
I'm an old man now, Trey.
An old man. Stop saying that, Corey. I don't know, man.
Yeah, people are saying, do it, Trey. Epic. Red Hood Outlaw said, I would be game. Tim's Talk said, do it.
Do it.
Go for it, Trey, says the butler. Tim's Talk says, Fortnite is an easy one. No, Tim Talk. I get rocked on Fortnite. Those little kids build those little...
Yeah, I tried playing Fortnite. I hated the aiming on that. I mean, I'm so used to like Halo or... like Call of Duty, Warzone, or something like that, and this aiming through your scope bugged the hell out of me. I could not stand it.
Hashtag Restore the Sniper's Guy says yes. Akari says, Jedi Academy, you did get to customize your character from clothes, race, and saber.
Yeah, see, Akari, you're my man. You know what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about, well, hey, Retro, we try to aim to please, you know. Corey, let's go ahead and talk about the next thing. Now, this was another thing they didn't reveal too much information. Star Wars Skeleton Crew. This is that show that Jude Law is starring in, and they did have a quick little panel on it, and I really didn't understand what this was going to be. With something being called Skeleton Crew, I kind of thought it was going to be kind of dark and kind of, I don't know, maybe adult oriented or kind of focused. And instead,
you never heard the term Skeleton Crew before?
What's that?
You never heard the term Skeleton Crew before?
Was that like a night shift team?
No, well, it's Skeleton Crew is basically you're running on bones, big fella. You're bare minimum help. Not enough workers. You're just barely making it by to survive.
Well, see, then this makes me even more confused because how they referred to this show as Goonies, Star Wars Goonies, because Jude Law is leading a team of kids to a dangerous mission. Kids. This show is geared towards children, a live action show geared towards children to help introduce kids into Star Wars.
Oh, won't you be my neighbor? Hi, everybody. I'm Jude Law, and today I'm going to teach you how to turn on a lightsaber.
But don't look in the hole of your lightsaber. Point it the other direction, kid. I don't know. Hey,
are good people.
I mean, Jude Law's a great actor, right? People. So I'm sure it's going to be good. But I was kind of, I guess I didn't realize what this show was about. I didn't realize it was going to be, and to be honest with you, and I know this is going to drive people crazy, I don't think I've ever watched the Goonies all the way through. Corey, have you?
Yes.
That's a dumb question. You were from the 80s. So.
Yes, I have. I'm kind of surprised you haven't seen it.
I mean, like I said, I've seen pieces of it, but I can never get past that. When I first saw a clip of it as a kid, that one dude, and you know the dude I'm talking about, scared the living shit out of me, so I never watched it. I know it to this day. That still like creeps me out. I think it's, I don't know. Star Wars meets world. Boy meets world. Star Wars. Yeah. Panga.
Obi.
Mr.
Obi.
I don't know. What's your guys' general thoughts? As you kind of saw in our thumbnail earlier, hype or lame?
So that's all they said was.
Apparently, they showed a teaser clip of it, and people said it like kind of deals with a residential area. These kids running through a forest, and they're going up against this real world of Star Wars that's looming danger nearby. there wasn't a lot of information to go about it because they're not quite ready for it yet. And obviously there was a lot of trailers or clips that were leaked at Star Wars Celebration that they didn't show to the public, sadly.
I can't get Mr. Rogers out of my head. It's a beautiful day in this galaxy, a beautiful day for a galaxy neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
I don't know.
It's going to be Mr. Rogers. I'm hoping. I'm hoping for Mr. Rogers.
Hyper lame, guys. Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Based off the little information people did kind of talk about it. Does it pique your interest at all, or are you going to have to wait and see until they actually release this trailer for it? I don't know. I'm not sure about it myself. Corey, would a Goonies Star Wars show be game? Would you be game for that?
I think where I'm at, probably leaning towards more no. But knowing you, Trey, I think you're probably leaning towards this. I'm going to hold judgment because I want to get more information on it. It could be cool. I kind of think of you and that Jurassic Park show, Dino. What's the Creations? What is it? Was the show you've been watching about Jurassic
Camp
Park?
Cretaceous?
Camp Cretaceous, yes. So this.
Camp Cretaceous was dope though. Season 1 through 3.
But is this going to be live action or is it going to be
live action?
So
it's live action.
This could be a live action Camp Cretaceous, but Star Wars.
You know, when you put it that way, Corey, you may have convinced me.
That's why I'm kind of willing to hold judgment. You know, who's directing it?
I don't know.
I need that information.
Let's see. Let me
just
pull.
know Jude Law is,
I just know Jude Law, and they did show the kids, but none of the kids are in things you would have, you would know. Star Wars.
Dude, there could be some youngling stuff going on.
I don't think they were Jedis though. I think it was literally supposed to be like the most unlikely of heroes and like people, like regular, everyday people of the Star Wars galaxy, like residential citizens who get thrust into an adventure, a Star Wars adventure. Let's see here. John Watts and Christopher Ford are the writers of it.
I heard somebody say me. Retro says, gently usher children to the...
and it's supposed to, apparently it's supposed to take place after the events of Return of the Jedi. So basically, Mandalorian time frame. Starring Jude Law, Ravi Kabat Conyers, Kiriana Crater, Robert Timothy Smith, Ryan Kiera Armstrong, Carrie Condon.
Seems like we're seeing a lot of lame and wait and sees, Trey. Hey, Retro says, hey kids, this is the Death Star capable of destroying entire planets.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not enough information to like really get me hyped about it. And the fact that they didn't release whatever trailer they did tells me they're not ready for it. So I don't know how far they're into the production.
Whole judgment of them. What are people saying coming out of it? Like, are people hyped for it? Who saw
from the people who reacted to the clip they showed? There was a lot of people who are kind of like, they said it was Goonies, but they're like, but we got this kind of vibe. Like someone said Stranger Things, that it reminded them, which if it's Stranger Things, see, I don't know how to take that. Like, are we just saying because it's young kids that have like a great friendship that's why it reminds you of Stranger Things, or it has that weird like retro sci-fi feel to it? I don't know. To me, that's kind of like, does that work for Star Wars? I don't know. When you say Stranger Things, Star Wars is not the thing that pops up in my head.
It's gonna be, oh my god, I know what it is. You ready for it?
What?
Jude Law is going to be making this skeleton crew of kids work day and night. No child labor laws said Force of the Galaxy, folks. Of making lightsabers, of making pistols, of mining stuff. That's what the skeleton crew of
It's
children
actually a
should be.
realistic story about Galaxy's Edge, about all the kids they have in the back putting the lightsabers together.
Exactly. Start mining, kids. You're going to be making me some Nikes here soon. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
I have no clue what this is going to be, but I'm curious for the trailer.
Yeah, I'll be curious too. You know, we'll definitely do a trailer reaction when it comes time. But I don't know.
Akari Saberwolf says Skeleton Crew sounds like a Star Wars version of Pirates of the Caribbean. It does kind of give off those vibes, doesn't it?
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. But based off of the, like you said, the reactions of people, it seemed like people were kind of just like, I don't know. It's a kids show of live action Star Wars kids show, and I was like, okay. Anything else? And they're like, Goonies, Stranger Things. It's like no one could actually like tell you, and maybe they had to sign an NDA because they weren't allowed to talk about the things they saw. But I don't know, it doesn't inspire much confidence that people are kind of like, it's kind of like this, you know, like what? But interesting. Corey, let's go to the next slide. Now, a show that you know our channel really dug, and I mean it had hits or misses. One of our hosts on the Delta Squad streams, Orc and Beans, he absolutely loves Surreal Karn and Deidre. Those are his favorite characters of all time. And you know, he just oh my God, this was a great tune. They're currently underway with season 2 of Andor and all the production that they're going in with that. It sounds like it's not going to come out until late 2024, like they're talking like August and maybe later. Here's what's interesting about what's going on with this show. Last season, during our breakdowns, you notice that we had talked about it was like a 3-episode story arc that they kept doing, and then like something else would happen. So basically like 2 slow episodes, just story driven action sequence for the 3rd episode, you know, story driven 3rd episode action sequence. That was kind of how they were doing their story arc. It seems like they're going to keep up with that same theme, but instead there's going to be major time jumps after each 3 episodes. So they were saying something like it was going to be 3 episodes, a year goes by until the next episode starts. Another 3 episodes, 3 years go by, you know, all leading you up into this moment of basically the show is going to end right when Cassian Andor shows up on that planet in Rogue One, where he meets that Imperial spy.
I was wondering.
Yeah. And they said that it's going to end exactly. We're going to take you right up to that moment. So, which is cool. I'm glad they're filling in that gap. But Corey, do you think this is a smart move to have so many time jumps? Essentially, it's going to be like 12 episodes, I think. 4 major time jumps.
Here's the thing. If they're smart about it and they have precise and good storytelling and no weird moments of a Jack Black character popping in and a Lizzo type, you know, moments of Andor, and they are straight to the point and everything has a meaning and everything has a purpose, then yes, it could potentially work. Here's the issue. We already know that he said 2 seasons and he's done. So they kind of have to, you know, rush it now, it seems like. So they want to tell a lot of story within a one last season. So this is the final season as far as he wanted, right?
Yeah, they always planned it to be 2 seasons. So at least they have a clear vision, which I do appreciate.
Yes. So they're going to have to be very point driven.
Yeah, my only worry is like you said, Corey, with kind of what your issue was with the first season, where like you kind of already know where this character ends up, and you like don't know whether to care because you know what happens to him in Rogue One. But it took you time to kind of dig his character a bit, and with this,
I mean, just get Cassian fan now.
Right? Yeah, like well, you like the complexity of him too. To me, I kind of worry about, is it going to be too Like, are we not really going to have something propelling us, like a story arc that we're following over the entire season? Is it just going to be like 3 episodes done, mission done, next 3 episodes, mission done? That, you know, to where it's not like there's nothing to look forward to because you do know where it's ending up. There's nothing like a big reveal that's going to happen, or you know what I'm saying, right, Corey?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. You know, like,
it's going to feel too robotic of storytelling.
Yes.
And you're going to expect what's going to happen, you know?
But here's the thing, they could surprise us. Like they did. And Andor 1.
True. I mean, we were one of the few channels that were talking about Andor in a very positive way throughout the entire season, saying like, oh yeah, man, there's something cool going on here. Stick with it. There's, you know, this is good storytelling. It doesn't feel like Star Wars, but stick with it, you know? And it was wonderful to see, especially the reaction of the audience at Star Wars Celebration to the cast. Like, people like have really accepted that while it didn't always feel like Star Wars, it was really good storytelling, and the cast was brilliant and had some of the best dialogue in Star Wars history. Like, seriously, that Luthen speech, the Mon Mothma speech, everyone has had, like, even Cassian has had great speeches in it. And it's like, that's one thing I'm looking for. I'm looking forward to seeing Luthen again and hearing more brilliant. Andy Serkis's character was brilliant.
On program.
Right, yeah. You know, One Way Out, guys. One Way Out by smashing that like, sharing this video, subscribe me if you haven't already. Just precious.
Did you see him, his interview?
Who, Andy Serkis?
Yeah.
No, about what?
At the Star Wars Celebration.
No, I didn't. I must have missed his.
His is worth watching. It was just really cool hearing him. Like, I've always found Andy Serkis kind of interesting because we're like, you know, he's an
underrated actor.
He's played a lot of characters. Yeah. And for how huge of a role he had in Andor, he wasn't that much on program. Like, it's just beautiful, man. Like, I still hope we found a way out. But with how quick Andor 2 is going to be, we're not going to see Andy Serkis again. There's no way.
I think we will. I think he's going to be an interesting reveal.
I hope so. I would love to see that.
If anything, I could see him being interrogated. He's going to be a key to finding Cassian. So I think Surreal is going to be on the heels of Andor throughout the entire show. Maybe that's kind of the theme we're leading up to, is that Surreal and Deidre are going to be close to catching Cassian throughout the season until we get to the end of it. Maybe that's what kind of propels it forward, and they use Andy Serkis's character to kind of connect the dots of where Cassian has been. And plus there's a lot of stories they have to answer. We still need to know what went on with Cassian's sister. They started that with the first episode and they never went anywhere with it. They're going to have to explain that.
All I know is we don't have time to watch Surreal eat cereal and get yelled at by his mom. So.
He did talk about, I did see that interview where Surreal Karn talked about his secret sex eyes with Deidre, their moment that they had, which it sounds like that will be addressed in the second season, that as they put it during their panel. What's that?
She threw up in her mouth a little bit.
A little bit, but as they kind of said that whether there was a moment or not, there are two people that both have the same goals and ambitions, and you'll have to see where that takes them. Now, in a way, that could maybe put them at heads to each other. Like, Surreal Karn definitely sees himself as a savior and kind of the one who's really putting in the work with the Empire. So he respects Deidre, but at one point, does their ambitions eat each other up? To where they're battling to reach their goals. It'll be curious to see, though. he did talk about the blue milk cereal, though. He had no idea that was going to become such a thing. And as he put it, he's like, I got tired of blue milk cereal. So maybe there won't be any more blue milk cereal. But I kind of hope at this point, I hope he has just a scene where he has blue milk cereal and he just starts eating and then looks at the camera with his weird sex eyes and then looks just back down just to screw with people. Maybe even say like on his bowl in Star Wars lettering, Orc and Beans, you know, Orc and Beans 14, you know, just so he knows that he's Surreal's guy, you know.
Yes, sir.
But definitely looking forward to Star Wars Andor Season 2. You know, we're going to break it down. We have another year to wait for it, sadly. But it was such a great show. And if you haven't checked out any of our breakdowns, I highly recommend that you do, because we really went deep into Star Wars Andor and found a real joy for it. Now, here's a show that there's, once again, not a ton of information about, but the more and more we get these little nuggets, I'm starting to really look forward to it. Corey, can you pull up the next slide? Star Wars The Acolyte. This is supposed to be set during the High Republic. So when the Jedis are on top, you know, there's no fear of the Sith because of their rule of two, and they've been kind of, you know, pretty much extinct, at least in the eyes of the Jedi. Now, here's going to be the interesting thing. This is going to be done through the perspective of the Sith, you know, and the bad guys. Maybe even in a way, possibly kind of the beginnings of the Separatist forces, when they start to look at the Jedi as these overconfident and ignorant, you know, dictators in a way. It'll be interesting to see, because obviously, and this is kind of the interesting part of Andor and like Star Wars and Clone Wars, where they created this confliction where I feel like growing up as kids, you always looked at the Jedi as these are the good guys. There's no question about that, you know. And then you started to see the change where like, well, the good guys really got ignorant and they started being oblivious to the problems outside, you know, as long as it didn't affect them. And while I still say sometimes I don't know how to feel about it, it does create a very intriguing, complex story. Sometimes I miss the innocence of Star Wars, where it's good versus evil. But with this Acolyte show, I really like the idea. Corey, this is going to take place shortly before the prequel trilogies. I don't think it's like a couple years before, but I think they're like 50 to 100 years before. So that means we could maybe get
some Yoda,
Darth Plagueis, you know, maybe even the beginnings of a young Darth Sidious. Sign me up for that.
Yes, sir.
So this, to me, this looks like it could be a really interesting show. There are some of the characters that they discuss. We're going to get a Wookiee Jedi, which perfect. I love Gunji, you know, in Bad Batch, and he was in Clone Wars for a little bit. So to have a version of that, it's being played by the same actor who played Chewbacca, or a double of Chewbacca when Peter Mayhew couldn't do it during Han Solo's film. So that's cool to hear. They have an actor who was actually in Squid Games, Corey. He's in it. So this looks like it could be a really, really cool show. I hope they do it justice, especially with it being the High Republic times. That'll be a cool era to see. And like you said, I really hope they dive into the Sith side of it, where we see Darth Plagueis, because that's one character that, have you ever heard of Darth Plagueis the Wise? You know, like, you got to see it.
It's interesting because, you know, do you know what the word acolyte means? It's basically a person assisting the celebrant in a religious service or a procession. So a person who helps with religious services is an acolyte.
Yeah.
Acolyte is also a fan or follower of the famous, so you can find an acolyte in church or at a concert, is what one example it would be. So that's super interesting, man. Like, yeah, this could be really, really good.
I mean, especially because it'll be back when the times when there were hundreds of Jedi, you know.
Yeah.
One thing that all these Star Wars shows have been missing is that Jedi element. We did kind of get it with Obi-Wan and obviously with Ahsoka returning, but nonetheless, it's always been one Jedi. We haven't seen the full strength of the Jedi since the Attack of the Clones show, or Clone Wars. So it'd be nice to kind of see when the Jedi were peak Jedis, you know, like when they really ran things. They were super powerful. The Sith couldn't even come close to them. The Jedi were untouchable, you know, at that time. And to see the beginning of where the Jedi started to go wrong in their ignorance and their confidence that there was no stopping them. So it'll be very interesting to see. Maybe they'll even give us some details. Like you said, I'm not sure when exactly this is going to take place. I'm told that it will lead up to the prequel trilogy of Phantom Menace, that you will feel a connection to those prequel films. But this is really going to focus on the High Republic.
So we could see even, you know, some vibes of the politics of it all.
The politics, the separatist, starting to come in, the Trade Federation. You know, they could go into that whole thing leading up to, you know, the capture of Naboo. So
interesting.
And so, guys in the chat, let us know: is it the Acolyte? You hyped? Lame?
Batman says the Acolyte does seem interesting. I can't wait to see it. Says the Batman.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. Personally,
Oracle's Clock Tower says hyped. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Beyond the Night says looking forward to it.
Okay.
Red Hooded Outlaw says can't wait.
Gotcha. So it sounds like for the most part, everyone's down for the Acolyte, which is great. They apparently had a clip to show people, but it was only for the people at attendance with Star Wars Celebration. So unfortunately, we didn't really get anything. Now, let me say this though before we move on to our next slide, because that one's going to be a big one that we discuss.
Oh boy.
It was this show, The Acolyte, was said to reference in terms of tone. And I don't know how you can say these two films together. Frozen and Kill Bill. How you say those two films in a sentence together as to explain how your show's tone and overall design is going to be, I have no idea. When you say Kill Bill, that immediately tells me, okay, so Quentin Tarantino. But then when you say like a Disney musical, Frozen,
use the force, use the force.
You know.
Can't hold it back anymore.
Do you want to build a lightsaber? Come on and let's go.
R2 unit. Do you want to?
Everyone's like, guys, keep your day job. Like, yes, you know.
Doesn't have to be a 3PO.
Yeah, you know, who knows? But like I said, when they said Frozen, and
I don't think they must have never watched Frozen.
Right? It's like, what part of Frozen are you watching? Is there a film I don't know about? You know, unless if you're trying to say there's like a female character that is stuck in a rut, you know, and she has to find her strength and her force and independence, you know, being free, then okay.
I think that might be what they mean.
Maybe.
Let's Kill Bill too.
Yeah, and it's kind of similar to like independent, strong woman, female character. Like, all right, okay. Like,
so
maybe feel like there's another. Yeah, just say that. Don't like connect a Disney animated musical and like a badass film like Kill Bill. You know, like you're confusing me right there. You know, it's snowballs and lava. What?
Yeah. They probably could have easily just said, think of like Ahsoka and being trained under you know, Anakin. Think that.
Right, yeah.
And then we'd be like, okay, this is going to be really cool, actually.
Gotcha, yeah.
Instead of just like, huh?
Yeah. What? You know, it's like saying Goonies and Stranger Things. No, I'm just kidding. Now, Goonies and Stranger Things kind of make sense because of the kids' friends, but I don't know. Corey, now let's go to the big topic. This was a huge surprise that I was not expecting, but it was a lot of criticism that Kathleen Kennedy was getting lately, where she was saying, you know, a lot of people were like, well, when is there going to be a new Star Wars movie? You're doing so many Disney Plus shows that when are we going to see Star Wars back in cinema? Well, sooner rather than later, apparently. According to Kathleen Kennedy, a new Jedi Order film is starring Daisy Ridley as Rey Palpatine / Skywalker, however you want to refer to her, taking place 15 years after Episode 9 and directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, who has done various documentaries, Badir animated films, and the newest Miss Marvel. Obviously, Daisy Ridley, when she appeared on the panel to the announcement, she was met with warm cheers and welcomes, and she is clearly excited to be back as Rey Skywalker. Now, this, like I said, this was a surprise. While I know the sequel trilogy made billions upon billions of dollars, I think that is simply from the loyalty of Star Wars fans and not by the feelings that are towards those films, because those films were not looked upon fondly by Star Wars fans. They just kept coming back because I really feel like, Corey, do you remember seeing Force Awakens and we were kind of like, it was good, a good start, but it was like, it could have been done better. But not only that, it was basically just a copy of Episode 4.
The one where Han Solo dies?
Yeah. Corey hated it for that simple reason.
There was that, but man, I tell you what, immediately right off the bat, they got me super hyped. I was like, ooh, Kylo Ren, boom, holding that, bolt, laser bolt through the air, and it's just, and then we saw his face, and I was like, oh.
Well, for me, what's wrong with what's wrong with oh gosh, Adam Driver?
Nothing's wrong with Adam Driver's face. I just like, if you're wearing a helmet, don't take the helmet off.
Oh, here, you know what my biggest issue with Force Awakens, and here's the funny thing: before I even knew Daisy Ridley was coming back, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I had a free time, when I was video editing. I was like, you know what, I really want to watch something Star Wars, but I don't want to watch all my trilogy films, the prequel and the original trilogy, because I'm gonna watch those soon for the whole May the 4th weekend and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give Force Awakens another shot. So I watched it, and I realized as I was watching it, I was like, I really don't when I first watched it, I didn't mind the film. I thought it was like I said, I thought it was good. Some things could have been done differently. When I watched it again recently, I did not like the film at all. I was like, man, they really missed the ball on this film. Like, they should have revealed who Kylo Ren was at the end when Han Solo yells at him and calls him Ben.
Yeah.
That would have been such a huge reveal. But the fact that you're like, I saw her son 20 minutes into it, you're like, what? Dumb. And I don't know if I can even watch Last Jedi again. I still struggle with that film. Like I said, Last Jedi was like the first film.
The fact that that Mark Hamill hates The Last Jedi, hates it. He hates the new Star Wars. He's like, this is not how it would have happened. And the fact that, like, have you heard him saying that they kind of lied to him about certain scenes? Like, oh yeah, this is what it's going to be like this over here. And then, like, when they got to actually the film, it didn't happen. So he's like, what? It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Like, this is what we were trying to get retconned through Mandalorian and everything that Filoni and oh gosh, lost my train of thought. Filoni and
Jon Favreau.
Favreau, yep. I was like, and I love that guy. I can't remember his name for a second. Everything that we were trying to hope that would, like, that's not our Star Wars. So it's a little concerning, Trey.
Yeah, I mean, they just did it. Like, it's one of those scenes where, like, I feel like, once again, I feel like people went to go see the sequel trilogy because they were like, they're Star Wars fans. They're just going to show up for Star Wars films. But I don't think anyone really looks at the sequel trilogy with like I mean, you have some people who are like diehard fans of it, but I don't know if the general Star Wars community looks upon the sequel trilogy with kindness, or fondness. But Akari says, I actually liked Rey, but would have loved to see her with a double-bladed lightsaber.
I agree with that too. She had the staff the entire time. You know,
it made sense for her to have a double-bladed lightsaber. Yeah. I liked her character in the first movie because she was a mystery, right? Like we didn't know who, there were so many theories about where she came from and who her family was. And to me, because of the lack of planning and vision from Lucasfilms at the time to go from J.J. Abrams to Rian Johnson and then back to J.J. Abrams, who basically used the last film to clean up what he didn't like of what Rian Johnson did. It was just poorly done films. And more importantly, the person who what's the word I'm looking for, Corey? The person who was most affected sadly, was Daisy Ridley. She could have been a great character.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, you're absolutely right. She was the one who was extremely affected because this she does have kind of a cool, story to her. It was just not done quite right. So maybe Trey, maybe this is going to be some justification, some her Jar Jar.
Sadly, though, here's my issue with this.
Mm-hmm.
They're making this whole thing about her because it's called, right, the New Jedi Order.
Yeah.
She's creating the New Jedi Order.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to be Luke's story. And yes, I know Star Wars Legends books technically don't count anymore. They're not canon. I know Disney uncannoned them, but that story belonged to Luke Skywalker. And to make him fail at that story simply because we needed Rey to be the future of the franchise kind of doesn't sit well with me. You know,
I hear what you're saying, but to play devil's advocate, Trey.
Yeah, that's fair. You can.
Like you said earlier, that one timeline, I can't remember what it was called. But you said that they were supposed to use the good side of the Force.
Oh, you're talking about the Dawn of the Jedi.
The Dawn of the Jedi, the good side of the Force and the dark side of the Force. As we compared already, and I said, this, I'm telling y'all, this is going to be a spoiler. So when it happens, you make sure you said, yep, the Bat Channel got it right. This one here, if you look, man, New Jedi Order looks a lot like the Dawn of the Jedi and the Old Republic, and like we mentioned, Trey.
It's pretty much the same Jedi logo that's been used in the past. Yeah.
Yes. But that said, I think who better than Rey, as of right now, to show the ways of the dark side and the good side.
Well, they're clearly bringing her to be a great Jedi-like character, which I believe Luke Skywalker did in the Star Wars Legends series as well. To me, it's just like, it's a little disheartening that they really made Luke we saw what Luke Skywalker was at the end of season 2 of Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. We saw what he is in Book of Boba Fett, and to have his legacy as a Jedi master so tarnished by a mistake he made with Kylo Ren or Ben Solo, it feels like not the appropriate way to handle such a beloved character. Mm-hmm. Now with that being said, I think Daisy Ridley is a wonderful actress, and I think she was screwed by poor storytelling and vision from the sequel trilogy. Especially Finn, the guy who played Finn.
Well, they screwed all the actors over. You look at, Finn, you look at Rey, you look at Mr. Skywalker himself, Luke. He hated Luke's character. He hated him. That wasn't the way it was supposed to be for Luke Skywalker, and that's what we got. That was the end of it.
Yeah.
With Luke. So,
and I think the funny thing is like a lot of fans were kind of, I don't think anyone was asking when is the next sequel trilogy going to happen. And I'm not saying this is going to be a sequel trilogy, but I don't think anyone was asking when are we doing the next Star Wars sequel film. You know, I think people are like, let's forget that one and maybe come back in a few years. You know, but the fact that Kathleen Kennedy in a way is like kind of doubling down and in a way is kind of saying like, I know you guys didn't like it, so here's another one. You know, I don't know.
So what I'm going to say too, and to be completely honest, I'm not excited for these films at all, but I'm going to continue to play devil's advocate with Trey. Hopefully find a, you know, maybe, and I'm looking out here right now, Trey. Beyond the Night says, I agree with Trey. It's woke BS. Absolutely facts. She's another mysterious stranger, says Akari. Hashtag anyone but Ray. Ray Bay is back. Babe. Ray's not worthy. She is Bay. Maybe this is Ray in the decanonized series.
They're not decanonizing it.
Let's see. Broom Boy will be the villain. My source from Disney just text me. What I'm gonna say, Trey, is like playing devil's advocate. You know.
Yeah.
We all can agree that the story writing, the directing of the 7, 8, 9 was just god awful. It was horrible. Is there a path to redemption? What if she clearly has the Force capability? She's seeing, Luke Skywalker. What if we saw Luke Skywalker continue to train her? What if we saw a Obi-Wan Kenobi character pop up and train her? A Yoda character?
Well,
Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost? Qui-Gon Jinn? What happened? Would people, like, if, let's get a redemption story, just playing devil's advocate, you know, what would it take? How many Force Ghosts do you need for this to be interesting enough to make people like, okay, they kind of did it right?
But if you're having to use so many previous characters to make her interesting, isn't that a disservice to her? Because it's not her that is interesting, it's the cameos that you're waiting for.
But here's the thing, though: she's never going to be successful because of how much we don't like her, and her character. They like Luke. Mark Hamill straight up said he hated it. He doesn't like how this ended. So people who are at least Luke Skywalker fans, Mark Hamill fans, which that's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll ever support her.
Exactly. Are they ever going to support her character? So they really need to get almost. They kind of need to get some buy-in from those old characters again.
You know what would be incredibly smart for them to do? Mm-hmm. You know how you get her liked more? She needs a mentor, right? At this point, we know Ahsoka. We don't know if she's still alive at this point, but make Ahsoka her mentor. That gives her a Anakin and Ahsoka, but now Ahsoka's in the role of Anakin.
Do I get a Hayden Christensen Force Ghost?
I think you're gonna get a Hayden Christensen Force Ghost in Ahsoka, maybe. I think that's possible.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. They need to do something that's going to tie back in people who are upset with the way they treated the beloved characters. You killed Han Solo in the first one, which we all know he wanted to die. But again, his death didn't mean anything. It wasn't a big grandioso death, and nobody gave a shit, oh, where's Han? Here's the keys to the Millennium Falcon. That's Chewie's Millennium Falcon. Then,
that pissed me off too. Like that Millennium Falcon belonged to Chewie.
Then you do Luke Skywalker super dirty. You know, like
they did everyone dirty in that.
Exactly, they treated all the characters with little to no respect. So they're going to have to figure out
how and that's the sad part is like. And here's the unfortunate thing about the sequel trilogy: it wasn't made by people who love Star Wars. It wasn't. It was made by people who were like paid to make a Star Wars film that they know people love. And, it has a big, it has a big thing about pop culture, but I'm an artist. So let me make my telling of Star Wars rather than someone like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau who love Star Wars. They are Star Wars fans. As Dave Filoni said in a panel earlier this weekend, he said, I like to think that if it wasn't me sitting in this chair talking to you guys about our future plans of Star Wars, that I would be right there in the audience with you guys because that's who I am first, And it's like, that's the difference. It wasn't like, yes, you can, Dave Filoni has the confidence to say, I have a vision for how Star Wars goes. I've worked with George Lucas. I know what he expects from his world. I also know where we can take creative liberties with Star Wars, like Andor. But I also know where we can stay in the world of Star Wars. With the sequel trilogy, they really just said, like, we know you guys love the old cast, but we want to do our own thing. So let's have them in here, but show clearly that they're the side characters who don't matter anymore and our characters do. Oh, by the way, our female protagonist is the greatest at everything without any training. She's even better than Ben Solo, the grandson of Darth Vader, who has been training, and he can't even beat her in the first movie. You made Ben Solo, who did the craziest thing in the world in the first scene that you see him in, where he stops a blaster shot with his mind. And is just keeping it there. It was, when you saw that, you were immediately like, this is one of the most powerful Sith Lords we have ever seen.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And then for him to get like, he can't break into her mind. He can't beat her in a Jedi lightsaber battle. Like, get out.
She has that Palpatine blood. She
has that Palpatine blood, so she's just perfect at everything.
Would it made it better if she said, I'm Rey Palpatine at the end? Because I've heard people mention that as well.
I don't think she should have said, I'm Rey Skywalker. I think that was a disservice to the characters of Skywalker.
Curry Saberwolf said, I personally love all Star Wars movies. I do agree they could have been better, but for me, Star Wars is Star Wars. I'm going to love them no matter what.
That's completely fine, Akari. Like, anyone who says that, I'm with you. I love that.
That makes my day to hear.
Yeah. I still try. Like I said, I keep going back to those sequel trilogies because maybe those films just I wasn't ready for those films yet. And I keep going, and there's things I do like about them, but for me, they failed so much on the story that I don't know how they're going to be able to convince Star Wars fans to come back and support her. I think this film will be made for a new, younger general audience,
which is what I'm worried
knows
about.
Nothing about Star Wars, which maybe that's their goal. Is they don't want people who know where Star Wars came from. They're trying to start the new Star Wars. That's possible.
Yes. So I guess, yes, I appreciate what Akari said there, but I'm also curious to hear for those in the chat. Me and Trey have some major concerns, obviously, with the new Jedi Order film. They're going, I'm curious, what is it going to take for you to go see it, chat? What do you want to see? What do you need to see for you to even go see it? Or are you just planning on not going to see it at all? Trey and I, being content creators, will see it and we'll put a review out about it.
Hopefully not want to leave the theater.
I'm hoping for good. I don't want to see bad content.
Oh yeah. Well, as I always tell you guys, when you pay to see a movie, you should get your money's worth. You should be happy with that content. Now, granted, I don't expect movies to be fluff like a Hallmark film where everything ends happy. and that's no shade at a Hallmark film. I'm just simply saying
sorry,
there's
Mom.
plenty of films that I love that are controversial.
To your mother. Apologize to your mother.
Apologies, Mom.
Say I love Hallmark movies.
I'm not going to say that.
I'll break your arm. Say I love.
Hallmark movies are very fluffy, and they do make you feel good inside. There you go.
Yeah.
But they're the same movie over and over again. Anyways, did you guys see the honest trailer for The Force Awakens? I feel like it did.
It's been a while.
But yeah, and it's spot on. I don't like that they gave her no character arc, really. You know, they gave her no, like, Ahsoka. People didn't like Ahsoka. You know what? Maybe this is like an Ahsoka thing. People didn't like Ahsoka when she first showed up in the Star Wars Clone Wars movie. Maybe this is, but, you know, over time, it didn't, you know, people began to love Ahsoka. Over 3 movies, I feel like you hated Rey Skywalker more and more. Some people, I should say some, because obviously Akari dug Rey Skywalker, which is great, which is awesome. I love to hear that someone did enjoy that. And like I said, I know for the younger generation, they probably look at Rey Skywalker as their Luke Skywalker, their Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know, and that's wonderful. For me, I hope they do redeem her. I hope they give her a story that is phenomenal, in that the perception of her character from what I notice as the majority of Star Wars fans on social media, I hope that people enjoy her content, because I want to see Star Wars continue. You know, I want it to be good content. Tim Stock says, "Oh, whoops, sorry." Rey Solo would have made.
Ella said, "Let the past die. Kill it if you have to." Very reflective in what they did to the lore and OG characters. Rey Solo would have made a little more sense than Skywalker.
Agreed.
That man said Rey should have been a Kenobi from the beginning. That would have been interesting.
I did hear that theory, and it's interesting. I don't like it, because I think it makes Obi-Wan break his Jedi vow.
Good review from Trey, LOL. Batman says he'll still see it.
Who said a good review from Trey?
Yeah, the butler.
Oh, the butler.
I'm forced to see it because of being a YouTuber. Look what you did, Trey. Sin Havoc said no Hallmark movies. That's right, Trey. Retro Nerd Girl coming in with a save. Love Hallmark movie, especially the Christmas ones. Couldn't agree more. Retro Nerd Girl. Boom.
Omega, I didn't like at first, but now in season 2, I do. Yeah, see, Omega over time grew on people. I'm hoping in a similar way that I feel like by now, after 3 movies, especially Big, where she's the lead, if you don't like her by now, I don't know how they're gonna change that. But I could be wrong. I will be pleasantly surprised. And you know what? Maybe I'm setting them up perfectly for this new film that they're doing with Daisy Ridley, because my expectations are low as hell. You know, I'm not, when I enter that movie theater.
So we're gonna be like, that was actually decent.
Yeah, I may leave that movie theater like, wow, that was actually not bad. You know, it's, you know, I was expecting a trash film, but instead I got a good film when it's really meh. You know, I don't know. I might be helping you guys out, Lucasfilm. No matter what, I will review it fairly. I'll look at it for the film it is, and I'll try my best not to bring in my past, you know, issues with a sequel trilogy, and just look at it for this individual film. You know, We'll see. Kari Saberwolf says, I loved her outfit in Rise of Skywalker, especially when she had the hood on. Oh yeah, her costume designs in the whole sequel trilogy, brilliant, phenomenal. Now let's go ahead and get into the biggie big. Ahsoka. Man, oh man, was that trailer phenomenal. If you guys haven't seen our trailer reaction video, do it, like it, share it, spread the word about it on social media. Man, is it good. There's so much going on in that, and I love the fact that it is a continuation of Star Wars Rebels. The whole gang is getting back together, basically. You got Hera, who's being played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. You got Sabine coming back. Obviously, Ahsoka. You got Chopper, the fun little astro droid. I wouldn't be surprised if Zeb shows up. Ezra Bridger is coming back. Like, come on, Simon. And more importantly, Lars Mikkelsen, who is voicing Grand Admiral Thrawn, who is also the voice of Thrawn in the animated series, Star Wars Rebels. We all know how big of a character Thrawn is. Thrawn is from the Star Wars Legends books that they decanonized, that Dave Filoni brought back. And when he made his appearance in Star Wars Rebels, it was huge. Killed it. Just absolutely a terrifying villain. And now that we're getting a live action version played by that same actor, it's almost like Dave Filoni planned this 10 years ago, or 5 years ago. Brilliant. I can't and I guess there was a extended edition of the trailer that they showed to the audience at Star Wars Celebration. From what I gathered, I did watch the leak trailer of it. Basically, you got a face shot of General Admiral Thrawn. Looks amazing. It's perfect. Yeah, I don't think anyone was shocked by that because the design was based on Lars's face anyways. Mikey's son in the house, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Mikey? My Thrawn group from 2019. Mikey, did you predict that Grand Admiral Thrawn was going to be in a live action Ahsoka series? Damn, man. If you did that back in 2019, Mikey
was right.
Mikey was right.
Mikey.
It's good to see you guys. My good friend Mikey Sutton, who is the creator of the Dreamwalker comics, which are officially sold out. You can't find a copy unless if you're buying from someone who purchased it through third party. Congratulations on that, Mikey. It's being made into a series. Some crazy stuff. And his artist, Noel Leon Flores, my man. You see Noel here. He is a big Star Wars fan. Gives us some good tidbits every now and then. His artwork is beautiful. What he's doing for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention right now, he created a shirt design that's gorgeous. And what Mikey's son does over at Geekosity magazine, if you haven't checked that out, I highly recommend that you do. Just coming up with great articles all the time. Highly recommend you check out that stuff. But Mikey, let us know. Did you scoop Grand Admiral Thrawn in 2019 being live action? That's insane. If so, that's cool. But yeah, to get back to Ahsoka, this thing is going to be fire. This is the show that I feel like people were waiting for. And maybe in a way, the sad part is maybe that's what Mandalorian was always meant to be, was to set up Ahsoka. Which is sad if so, because with Mandalorian being like the first Star Wars show that really took Disney Plus and put it on the map, I hope they're not just using it as a way to support Ahsoka's character, but nonetheless, we love Ahsoka's character, and to see her live action Rosario Dawson playing this beloved character, she nails it. And the implications of this show are insane, to the point where Savage Bat, you heard me talk about earlier, Savage Bat, who's on our panel for Delta Squad streams every Saturday when we break down Star Wars episodes, he had actually talked about that it seems like they were going to be doing a Avengers level event for the Dave Filoni verse. What do you know? That's what's happening. They are actually doing a Dave Filoni Star Wars film in the Mandalorian universe. Now, Dave Filoni went on to say that this isn't exactly a finale to his Mandalorian universe, but it's definitely a big, gigantic event, which probably means we'll maybe get 2 seasons of Ahsoka, maybe 1 more season of Mandalorian after this before they lead us up into this major Star Wars event where we're fighting Grand Admiral Thrawn, the last inkling of the Empire before they become the First Order. Crazy. Can't believe Savage Bat called that. Savage Bat, congrats, man. That's insane that you predicted that. Fantastic. Mikey Sutton says 2020 May 12th. Star Wars rumor. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it says Star Wars rumor Grand Admiral Thrawn to make the jump to live action. A new rumor details that Grand Admiral Thrawn will make the jump to live action. The rumor comes from Mikey Sutton. In his Geekosity Facebook group, Sutton writes, I've held on to this for months now, and I'm tired of waiting for additional details to put this out. Thrawn will make his live-action debut, I am told, possibly in the next 2 years. Not only does Sutton detail that Thrawn will make his live-action debut, but he also notes that there will be less animated content coming out of Lucasfilm in the near future as they switch their focus to more live-action series given the success of The Mandalorian. Sutton explains, there's chatter among my sources that Lucasfilm will gradually decrease their animated Star Wars projects. Notice I didn't say cancel. He continues, there's a preteen crowd that cartoons aimed at their generation will provide a gateway into this IP. Sutton then adds, but with the massive success of The Mandalorian, Disney strongly believes the franchise is better served with live action, especially with Dave Filoni at the helm. He goes on to explain that the stories that might have previously been animated series are now better suited for live action due to their commercial potential. The stories that would have been animated programs have more commercial potential as live action series, which will then help rejuvenate their theatrical counterparts. Sutton then details that there is an ongoing philosophical change at Lucasfilm, and Star Wars Let the Past Die is not a philosophy that Filoni, Jon Favreau, and Kevin Feige share, who are all knee-deep in Star Wars' expanded and rich history. The EU is coming bank on it.
Wow. Mikey, man, literally like dot for dot. Perfect. Yeah, because even Heir to the Empire, you know, the Timothy Zahn book, the fact that Ahsoka said that in the trailer, like Thrawn, Heir to the Empire, which is clearly nodding to that book. The fact that you scoots that in 2019, like, is insane. My goodness. Mikey's on the man, like I saw somewhere, the man from the future. That's crazy.
He's on a different timeline, y'all.
Right? Just crazy in the world, my man. Balin seems like he's going to be a scene stealer. Oh my gosh, yes, that dark how do I put him? Because it sounds like he's not quite a Sith. So in our trailer reaction, I had pointed out that the lightsaber that Balon has is orange, and his apprentice is orange rather than stark red. And Wonder Wife was like, no, I think it's red. And I was just like, no, there's a different tinge to it. And sure enough, Dave Filoni pointed it out and said, like, yep, you guys are right. It's orange for a reason. And he's like, there's a hidden message behind that, which tells me that they're not fully Sith. You know, that's maybe their kyber crystal didn't bleed all the way, or just maybe they're just slightly bending into the dark side. I don't know. Whatever it is. Sabine Wren in the article as well. Did you scoop a live action Sabine Wren as well?
In the same article, Sutton also scooped a rumor back in December that Star Wars Rebel Sabine Wren would be getting her own live action show. At the time, Sutton wrote, according to several insiders, Disney Plus is developing a live action TV series for Rebel star Sabine Wren.
My man. Hey, Sabine's a great character, and I'm surprised she hasn't showed up in The Mandalorian just yet, but it'll be interesting to see how they explain her character, and especially when she sees Bo-Katan again with the Darksaber, because that was once Sabine's. Dave Filoni, if there's one person I trust with Star Wars, it is that man and Jon Favreau, because they clearly have a plan set in place. It's worked out from Star Wars Clone Wars all the way to Star Wars Rebels and Mandalorian, Ahsoka. They clearly know what they're doing. And we've been asking for Dave Filoni to be able to direct his own film, and the fact that he's getting this convergence film of all the Mandalorian universe, Filoni-verse characters is absolutely awesome. It's insane. I love it. Glad to hear it. And I think he's going to do a great job. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it outperformed any of the other Star Wars films that are coming out. I'm just going to be honest. But very, very cool stuff indeed. Mikey Sun says the live action Rebels became Ahsoka. Is it? Yeah, exactly. Because that's literally what it is. The fact that they showed Zeb recently on The Mandalorian, and now basically even the mural of, the whole gang, the Ghost Squadron together, just shows that it's basically a continuation of Star Wars Rebels, which is awesome. I've read the novels. Very, very cool, Nightwing. I've just started to read them. As you can see, I have some of the Star Wars Legends books. I don't have the Thrawn series, but I got some of the Star Wars Legends that I've started to read, and a lot of the new Jedi Order series as well. So I'll have to check that out for sure. Guys, what do you guys think about Dave Filoni directing his own Star Wars films? Me, I'm hyped. I want to see it. Are you guys feeling the same way? Hyped as well? Want to see Dave Filoni take over? There's rumors, and I think actually Mikey's son actually scooped this, that people say Kathleen Kennedy is on her way out after Indiana Jones 5, which would be a nice send-off for her. I get the sense that fans aren't really... They would like to see someone else take the helm of Star Wars, maybe Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni would be great. Personally, I think, someone different to give freshness to, and to kind of get rid of the stank from the sequel trilogy would probably be best for the Star Wars community for sure. It's an article from Geekosity.
Shared this one. The Mandalorian.
What's it say?
Mandalorian leading to Star Wars. Heir to the Empire story arc, December 25th, 2020. Written by Mikey Sun, editor-in-chief and owner. Geekosity Scoop. The future of the Mandalorian can be found in the books. One in particular, Heir to the Empire, will be influencing the Disney Plus TV series going forward, written by Timothy Zahn. 1991, Heir to the Empire was the introduction to Grand Admiral Thrawn, the highly intelligent, strategic, and blue-skinned villain that stalked the Rebels animated series and was name-dropped in The Mandalorian this season. When I scooped Thrawn appearing on The Mandalorian on May 9th, it was met with the usual skepticism from some, especially by those who still believe the Star Wars Expanded Universe was tossed into garbage compactor 326-3827, never to be seen again. Those days are over. Whatever issues Kathleen Kennedy had with the EU and letting the past die are tossed aside by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni on The Mandalorian. In fact, Kennedy's rules are what probably ended up in the garbage compactor, as Marvel Studios does with adapting their comic books, past and present, into MCU blockbusters. Mixing and matching various parts of Star Wars is the new Lucasfilm ideal in their Disney Plus programs. More on the MCU connection in the second scoop. Heir to the Empire won't be interpreted exactly how it is on the printed page, but its shadow will be looming over the show. I am told that Mara Jade will be appearing, but how much of her origins remain? The same is currently unknown to me. I initially scooped Jade on $3 Theater 2019. Sources indicate that Karen Gillan is a favorite to play her, but no talks have started yet. Filoni is a massive fan of the Thrawn books, and a war between Thrawn and the New Republic is gradually being built up. Given that Carrie Fisher has passed away, Princess Leia's role in the book is among the challenges ahead they have in tweaking the story, but nobody is talking on how much of the original plot they will keep in. One insider said he would be surprised at the endgame of The Mandalorian putting together his team of galactic ragtag cosmic Avengers will result in a theatrical film named after Heir to the Empire. It may not follow the story as it was initially told, however, its spirit will be intact and whatever parts they can repurpose. Interesting.
Yeah. And Mara Jade would be insane because that was technically uncanon from Disney when they said the Star Wars Legend books don't exist in this timeline anymore. Which Mara Jade, if you guys don't know, she is the wife of Luke Skywalker and the mother of Ben Skywalker. So, and if I recall in the storyline, it's been a long time since I've done my research on that. She's very much connected to the dark side of the Force. So that would be cool. I would be down for that, you know? Hey, that Mikey in crazy scoops, my man, and all here for it for sure. Let's see, hyped for Ahsoka and Filoni film. Can't wait for Ahsoka. Yeah, everyone's. Thank you so much, Oracle. I appreciate that. Akari says never heard of him till after Rise of Skywalker, but I would like to see what he can do. Thrawn? You've never heard of Grand Admiral Thrawn?
Yeah, he's. I think so because he also said Akari said that he was working on Clone Wars right now. Same with me, Akari.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, Akari, you're gonna love Clone Wars, man. Phenomenal.
I even got the movie confirmed.
Mikey, look at you, big
I
fella.
think it's a good step for Filoni, and he definitely has been involved in the verse for shows. But pushback, though, he's never directed a live-action movie, and that's different type of storytelling.
Sure, you're not wrong at all there, Tim. But I think the thing that to kind of play devil's advocate on that, I think he has many great resources to pull from. Jon Favreau, Bryce Dallas Howard, Rick. I never can pronounce his last name. Rick F. He's and you know what, George Lucas. I know if he called up George Lucas, George would help him out. You know, he's in good hands when it comes to live action. Yes, he might not have the experience of screenplay, but in a way, some of those cats who come from animation and can do screenplay like that first, because animation really forces you to have solid storyboards. And that, you know, director who makes me think of that is Zack Snyder. He's brilliant with his storyboards, and it's in a way it's very animated and very comic book like, to where that's how he's able to get such beautiful cinematic shots and look at scenes in a different way that maybe someone who's so focused in reality that they're not able to achieve. So I think while you're not wrong, that is a weakness. I think in a way it might be his greatest strength. We'll see. Mikey Sun says, keep in mind the Russos didn't direct a movie until The Winter Soldier. Great point. Yeah, no, another great point. Absolutely. They came from Community on TV. Yeah. Ahsoka's looking really good though, guys. August can't come soon enough. I think that show is going to blow Obi-Wan Kenobi's numbers out of the water. It's going to blow Mandalorian's best numbers out of the water. I think this is going to become the biggest show on Disney Plus easily, especially if they do it right, which I think they will. They had this story has been setting up for 5+ years now, ever since the Star Wars Rebels finale. We've been waiting for this moment. So,
you know, I almost wonder, you know, Ray probably, you know, kind of thinking about the trilogy, probably would have been better if, you know, it was more. No, Rey would have been too old. I think I guess it didn't have to be as far of a gap. I would have liked to seen more Ahsoka. That would have been kind of cool in a trilogy movie.
You're talking about, I was just going to say that I think probably the smartest thing they should have done, and I think it was simply because Dave Filoni was not involved with the sequel trilogy, but what would have been, now that Dave Filoni is getting more involved in this kind of stuff, the smarter thing to have done would have made the sequel trilogy about Ahsoka being the protagonist. Or her as the mentor, like completely let Luke be he's dead, he's gone, he was a great legend, because at that point they were so disrespectful to the original trilogy cast that it was almost better not to have them in it at all.
Yeah, because how does Ahsoka's character age?
Her species,
it seems slower, right? Because she's obviously with Luke Skywalker and Grogu and everything like that, and she looks middle age,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly how they age, but I would imagine it's a little slower than humans. I'm not sure it's a ton though, because I mean, she's clearly, if you watch Clone Wars, she does clearly age from a teenager to a young adult within the 3-year span that the Clone Wars happened. So there is some age difference when you see her in Star Wars Rebels, and then at the finale of Star Wars Rebels, there is a bit of an age difference.
How much older she is.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rosario Dawson's in her 40s too. So, but I mean, that won't stop her. Rosario Dawson's a badass.
And Luke Skywalker at that time would have been.
He's in his 20s. Yeah, in this time frame. Oh, actually, though, no. Well, he's either late 20s, where we are right now with Mandalorian, or he's early 30s.
See,
so
that's a pretty insane gap.
We're definitely getting peak Skywalker, though. You know, Luke is in his prime, at this point in his life. But Akari Saber says, as far as I've gotten was when Darth Maul and Savage Opress reunite. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, man, you're in some season 3, season 4. I think something like that. I think it's season 3. I think so. Sounds right. But man, Ahsoka, it's looking good. So guys, that's some of the major announcements of Star Wars Celebration. Like I said, we are getting some new films. Dave Filoni, James Mangold with the Dawn of the Jedi, and then obviously Daisy Ridley returning for I hesitate to say it's an episodic Star Wars film, but there's I don't know if this is going to be Star Wars Episode 10, Dawn of the Jedi. It's possible. The only reason why I think it could be Star Wars Episode 10 is Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that they were going to bring back the Star Wars scroll, which, if I recall correctly, they've only used that Star Wars scroll when it was an episode, when it was like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, all the way through 9. 9. So that makes me wonder, because she said that they've only used it for the episodic films, so maybe they are going to do it. But then again, I could see them using it for Dawn of the Jedi, because they're going to need they might try to fill in some backstory, so that, because Dawn of the Jedi 3 hours probably wouldn't tell you the entire story that you want to know from that 25,000 years ago before the Battle of Yavin. There's so much story they can tell there until they get to the Old Republic. So yeah, man, it's looking good with some of these Star Wars films.
It's looking damn good.
And we'll see. We'll keep an eye on the Daisy Ridley film. We'll talk about some themes that we're hearing, some theories, maybe some scoops if we ever get some. We'll definitely talk about it. But I'm going to try to come at it with an open mind, even though I was not a fan of the sequel trilogy, and I definitely was one of those people that were kind of hoping that with the Ahsoka series, maybe they would retcon the sequel trilogy because of the things you learned that Ahsoka knows about in terms of Star Wars time travel and multiversal themes. We'll see. But nonetheless, it should be good. We'll hope for the best, because I think with Dave Filoni at the helm, Jon Favreau, and potentially Kathleen Kennedy, sounds like she might be on her way out after Indiana Jones 5. We'll see. Star Wars, I think, is in a good place nonetheless with the Ahsoka series. I think so. And James Mangold, who's going to kill it. He's going to do phenomenal. What's your guys' thoughts? So Star Wars in a good place? Yes or no? I'll put it in the polls real quick, but Corey, show us in the comments what some people are talking about.
Yeah, man. I think you're right, buddy. I'm looking forward to the future of Star Wars. You know, did we get everything that we wanted, or maybe I was hoping for? Maybe not, but I think there's a lot of cool things that's on its way. Man, Visions is something that really has piqued my curiosity, bro. That's something that I really want to see. So, yeah, the Trey just put in the chat now poll. Make sure you vote.
Curious to hear what everyone's thoughts are about the future of Star Wars. And if you haven't yet, guys, make sure you have smashed that like. You've shared this stream, especially replay crew. If you're watching right now, we need you guys. Not just everyone in the live chat who's keeping us engaged, but replay crew, you guys. After you watch the video, comment all the way through the stream. Tell us what you guys are thinking, because if you notice, I do go through all of our comments. I usually reply, so I'm curious what you guys say. So replay crew, if you're watching, comment throughout the stream. I'll respond. I'll get to you. You already know. But Corey, out of everything, and maybe you guys can put this in the chat too, out of everything that I've told you, what is the biggest thing you're excited for?
Indiana Jones movie.
I'm not surprised by that, actually.
No,
you are in the way you are with Indiana Jones is the way I am with like Jurassic Park, so I get it.
Only because Indiana Jones was included in this. I would say easily the beginning, buddy. Dawn of the Jedi.
You're looking for Dawn of the Jedi.
Yeah.
What gets you excited about that?
It's the start, man. In the beginning. Looking forward to it. I want to see
You've always liked the concept of the Gray Jedis.
Yes, I love Gray Jedis. So that's one of the things that I liked about Mace Windu, because he supposedly had that purple lightsaber, his fight techniques. I was always hoping for more Gray Jedis, and that's one of the reasons why I loved Anakin Skywalker as well, because he did kill and do stuff like that. It's just one thing that I always looked forward to. So that's why Ahsoka kind of being that different Gray Jedi. I guess she's not too. She's just not a part of the Jedi Order per se. But curious to learn more about her. Yes, I think that's the perfect balance. Peace through superior firepower, man. You gotta know how to beat them at their own tricks. More Jedi's force choking. Let's go.
Well, you might like Balon then, this Sith character in Ahsoka. We'll have to see. I've heard some people theorize that he is a Order 66 Jedi survivor with his Padawan. Yeah. That's a cool concept. Someone had a crazy theory. I think it was actually Star Wars Theory over on his channel. I think he said that he thinks Balon could be an Anakin Skywalker either clone or if Anakin Skywalker never got burned, because Ahsoka appears in that battle that they're in the world between worlds. So it's like a multiverse Anakin Skywalker who's now older at the age of what he would be. I think technically Anakin would be 50 or 60 in this current time frame. So someone was saying maybe it's him with his new Padawan like that. I don't think that would be the case. I think if they would have done that, they would have had Hayden Christensen come back and not even bother calling him Balon. But it's a cool theory, I will admit.
Forgot to say Tales of the Jedi 2 is also.
Oh yeah, Tales of the Jedi is up there. Yeah, I'm totally down for Tales of the Jedi.
I'm wondering if Kennedy's going to be or not. I heard that she only has 1 or 2 years left. Kennedy is leaving after Indy 5.
Yeah, I think Mikey's son has scooped that as well.
There's more that you get for me. I don't trust Kennedy. Yeah.
Okay.
Would love to see a Force Unleashed 3 or a live-action Force Unleashed movie or series. That would be cool, Kari.
Yeah, hey man, to see Starkiller, yeah, that'd be dope. I wish Starkiller was canon.
Son Hammer said, "I wonder if Star Wars will film or TV show about the Jedi and the Sith, just the Force itself. That would be interesting. Absolutely." Red Hood Outlaw said Ahsoka is going to be awesome and worth all of it. And then we said Mara Jade, the Empire's Hand. That was her title.
Yeah.
And it looks like right now, most people, we got about 85% people saying yes, they are looking forward to the
I hear you. I'll go ahead and actually close the poll so that it was. So if you haven't voted, if you're looking forward to the future of Star Wars, you got 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Wait, beautiful. Play? End.
End.
Okay, 84% yes, 15% no. Wow.
84% yes?
Yeah. That's not that's I'm glad to hear that the confidence seems to be there. A few years ago, I don't know if people would have had the same confidence. But I think the fact that Dave Filoni is really kind of taking the driver's seat a little bit is getting people excited again for Star Wars, which is awesome and wonderful to hear. And I'm glad to hear from all you guys. And for all my Star Wars fans out there, I know technically the Bat Channel, right? Like you guys probably just talk about DC. Well, clearly here we are talking about Star Wars, and we can't build this Star Wars community without you guys. So please make sure at the end of this stream, you guys smash that like, you've shared this stream with your other Star Wars fans, and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because every Saturday we do a Delta Squad stream. Yes, Delta Squad from my favorite Star Wars game, Republic Commandos, which I wish they would announce a sequel to the video game and a remastered version of the original. But until then, Delta Squad with me, Super Bro Corey, the Savage Bat, and Mr. Orc and Beans 14, and every now and then our lovely guest, Retro Nerd Girl, and a few others every now and then.
Skywalker the Jedi.
Koj. All these cool guys. I'm telling you guys.
And maybe one of you.
Maybe one of you guys. Yes. Who knows? Who knows? Make sure you guys share this video, share this stream, hit that notification bell so you don't miss our episodes. And next Wednesday, with it being the finale of Star Wars Mandalorian, we will be doing our watch party. Hell
Not
yes.
this
And
week,
then next week. I said, I said next Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay.
No, next Wednesday. I guess if you look at it, next. We will be doing our watch party for the finale, and then we always do a gaming party for Star Wars. Every time it's been Battlefront 2.
Raising money.
And this time we're doing something really cool with Orc and Beans 14 over on Twitch. So make sure you guys follow him over on Twitch for our Star Wars Battlefront 2 gaming party, where you guys, the fans, can join us, Super Bro, Corey, and I. Corey, I think we still have our gamer tags if you want to show them. We play on Xbox, so if you can join us on Xbox, or I think PC. I think PC allows you to join with us. Send us a friend request on Xbox. Make sure you tell us where you're from. Say, hey, Trey of the Bat Channel from Delta Squad stream. That way I know you're not just like some bot, because I do get those on friend requests sometimes on Xbox. Send us an invite to Titans Space Valor 12 or Big EC 72. Send us a message letting us know that you want to join us for our Star Wars Battlefront 2, which I think is, correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, the 22nd of April.
22nd, yes, sir.
The 22nd
Delta Squad,
April. Delta Squad, form up. We are going to be raising money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. This stream, you can either donate directly to AFSP, or we'll have there's an option on Twitch where you can do a fundraiser chat. So that way, either way, the money's going to AFSP. So make sure you guys join us for that. It's going to be a great time just hanging out with fellow Star Wars fans, playing video games, enjoying the finale of season 3 of Mandalorian. We'd love to see you guys there. And as Sin Havoc says, rules of grift apply for the Bat Channel. Grift those likes up for Train Corey. I like
it up, boss.
That's how I like it. That's the way it's done. I'd love to jump on sometime and discuss the Legends canon. Yeah, that would be dope, Night. We'll definitely do that at some point. But guys, I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with us today, recapping all the craziness of Star Wars Celebration. Make sure you check out all of our trailer reactions that we've done from Star Wars Celebration. And as always, smash that like, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. I am your host, Trey, with
Super Bro Corey.
And don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bat time.
Same bat channel. See you later, guys. Have a great night.
Peace.